Pitch by Busich. Swung on and missed.
It's time for Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel. Coverage of tonight's broadcast is sponsored by our platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Caldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, the Highlander Golf Course and Grill, the Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Shava, Together for Youth, Valley Tractor, and Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Now, let's go live to Paul Thomas Senior Field on the campus at Wenatchee Valley College for Apple Sox baseball on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
So the Apple Sox will advance. And welcome to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium here on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College, along with Brandon Schmidt and Eric Grandstrom with you here on the NCWLIFE channel as your Wenatchee Apple Sox with a record of 13-8, just a half game out of first place in the North Division for the first half, take on the Victoria Harbor Cats in the first of three games here at Paul Thomas. Harbor Cats come in at 12-11 on the first half schedule. Well, Brandon, it was a tough weekend last weekend for the Apple Sox up in Edmonton, and for the first time this season, not only did they lose a series, but they were swept in that series. Nice to see them bounce back against Bellingham this week.
Yeah, it was, because that could have been treacherous with us going into Bellingham being the first place team there, and we ended up going up there and taking 2 out of 3 and had a close one last night that was potential postponed due to rain.
Yeah. So. If you tuned into that game at all last night on the stream, yeah, it looked pretty wet at times, and I kept expecting that as well, that, oh, man, they're not going to make it. Yeah. Well, speaking of not making it through their game, Victoria comes to town tonight after having their game in Victoria at home last night, rained out in the second inning while they were leading Edmonton by a score of 2-0. So that could have helped the Apple Sox cause get a little separation with Edmonton in second place in the standings.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But my daughter and I were having a conversation actually about what is a complete game. And so it has to go 4.5 if the home team's winning, 5 if the visiting team is winning. Mm-hmm. But if it gets to 6 and it's tied, they call it a no contest. So that's interesting. They have to start it over from the beginning.
That's interesting. I was talking with the Edmonton coach, or the Victoria coach, before we started here, and I said, so when are you going to make that up? And they said, at the end of the season. I said, well, aren't you concerned about the first half standings and such? And he goes, we're out of it. which I don't think they actually are. Because they've played, 23 games. You played 27 in the first half. So they've got 4 games left in the schedule, including the 3 here this weekend in Wenatchee. They could catch Bellingham for first place. And that, of course, why does it matter? The first half winner in the standings is the one who advances to the postseason automatically.
Which is a big deal.
Which is a huge deal. All right, we've got our anthems here. We'll have the Canadian and the American anthems here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Stars through the perilous foe, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Well, nice job there. All right, there you go. The anthem's taken care of. We're about ready for baseball here tonight on the NCWLIFE channel, along with Brandon Schmidt and Eric Granstrom with you here as we get ready for our 5th of 8 scheduled broadcasts of Apple Sox baseball this summer. Hard to believe we're already past the halfway point.
I know. Yeah, and we added one, I think. So we've got 9.
No,
No?
I don't think so. Did we?
I think we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lucky us.
Maybe so. Okay. Bonus. On the mound tonight for the Wenatchee Apple Sox, getting the start will be... Oh, there we go. Love to see that. For the Apple Sox will be David Barnes, who's a 5'9", 180-pound junior out of Spokane Falls Community College. This will be his second appearance for the Apple Sox. He's pitched in relief so far and had a win. He's 1-0 with a 0 earned run average. In his 2 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, no walks. You got to love those kinds of lines.
Wow.
If you're Coach Mitch Darlington. Meanwhile, for the Victoria Harbor Cats, again with a record of 12-11, starting it off at right field, the leadoff man will be Tanner Beltkowski. Now, I will mention they've got a Beltkowski and a Berezowski. in the lineup here tonight. So just to
Yes.
keep those two separate, thankfully they're 1 and 9 in the order, but they will come up, I'm sure, right after each other here as we go. Batting second will be the shortstop Hudson Shoup. Batting third will be the DH Logan Shepard. Batting cleanup will be Caden Munster, who is the first baseman. Jack Johnson will bat fifth. He's the third baseman. Connor Ross will bat sixth. He's in left field. Batting seventh, Jacob Doyle, the center fielder. Batting eighth will be Jake Butler, the second baseman. And batting ninth will be Jay Berezowski, who is the catcher. Defensively for Coach Mitch Darlington tonight for the Apple Sox, aside from Andrew Carter on the mound, you got for the Apple Sox behind the plate, getting the catching start tonight is Caden Smith. Ethan Thomas is at first, Theo Kim at second, Cade Martinez at short, Jake Sanko is at third base. Out in the outfield, Davis DeRico. Our first chance to see him will be the left fielder, Jacob Croxford, also our first chance to see him at home. He joined the team up in Edmonton over the last week. He's the center fielder, and Gunnar Penscover, who is a pitcher, but also a fielder, as we've seen,
Yes.
and also has a pretty good bat at the plate,
He
too.
does, yeah.
He is the starting right fielder tonight here for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. So just about ready to go. Apple Sox in their home whites, trimmed in red and blue, and Victoria with the traveling uniforms. They've got the powder gray pants, the powder blue tops with white numbers trimmed in dark blue, and we're about ready to go. Our home plate umpire is Lance Creek. The base umpire is Bryce Reeves. And we're ready for baseball on the NCWLIFE channel. The first pitch misses high for ball one. 1-0 the count.
And how amazing, Eric. We've asked for it for a little while, and we got the TrackMan, and so it's telling us velocity of pitches. So now we can finally say velocity.
I love that.
So
this pitch is
94
Strike.
mile an hour fastball.
on the inside corner. And the technology has improved, of course, a great deal. Now, this is being picked up by a plate that's mounted to the press box behind home plate. Now, how in the world do you get numbers and things like that out of a plate? It's looks like a plastic satellite dish.
Yeah.
That's mounted on the side of the building behind home plate.
Cameras are amazing, aren't they, nowadays? Cameras and technology.
Well, not only that, but they can give you the spin rate and also give you
exit, velo.
a whole bunch of information. So
we may sound like some of those Mariners announcers here pretty soon.
Yeah, like we know what's going on. 2-2 the count after Belkowski fouls it back. Belkowski coming in batting .333 for the Harbor Cats, a 6'1", 200-pound out of Westmore College. 2-2 the count, and Barnes ready. The right-hander delivery, strike three called, and a 95-mile-an-hour fastball there for the first out of the ball game.
And we've talked about this many a times about how somebody looks max effort and how somebody looks like they're throwing easily. He is not putting.
Yeah, I would not guess that ball is traveling 95 miles an hour.
No, me neither.
Hudson Shoup will step up. We were talking about this before the ball game off the air, that Shoup has been in a Victoria uniform for what seems like about 6 years.
Yeah.
He's been Victoria staple for a long time, and also, by the way, has done well against the Apple Sox in the past, if my memory serves correct.
Yeah, kid out of Richland High School, so.
Junior at Gonzaga now.
Ammerman was a former teammate of his.
1-0 the count, and the next delivery from Barnes goes all the way to the backstop, so the count goes to 2-0 to Hudson Shoup. 6 foot, 180-pounder, batting .200 on the season. We are back to our old location here, by the way, broadcasting on top of the third base dugout, so we'll be able to lend an ear to what's happening below us a little bit and listen to the Apple Sox as they come and go out of the dugout. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way by Barnes, and that one is a called strike, and the count now 2-1. 94 miles an hour on that pitch. So what are these other numbers we're looking at here?
So we've got the spin rate in front of us, which is something that is fairly new to baseball. It talks about how quickly the ball is spinning, and if people can get more spin rate on it, so rotations of the ball as it's coming to the plate, it becomes less hittable. So Verlander, at one time I remember somebody saying that the pitch that he threw was like 98 miles an hour with a spin rate of 2,500. I'm making up that number. I don't know, but it was literally unhittable.
That's incredible.
So
2-2 the count here as Barnes delivers, and this one swung on and hit well into center field, and easy catch there for Croxford to make the out. First play defensively for Croxford in an Apple Sox uniform here at home, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Logan Shepard. He's hitting .311, and this is a guy you got to watch out for.
yeah,
This guy has done well. He has been a key factor in a lot of Victoria wins so far, 12 of which coming into tonight. 6'2", 215 pounds, sophomore out of Mercer. Have you heard of Mercer?
I have heard of Mercer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. I thought I
more
might have
for
stumped
basketball, I believe.
You. Oh, yeah, there you go. Curveball here misses low for ball one, 1-0 the count. So Shepard here has retired the first two batters he's faced, but he's also fallen behind the first two batters
He
he's
has,
faced.
yeah.
And now fallen behind batter number 3.
Well, and his thing that he does best in his appearances that we've seen so far is a lot of strikeouts. So he's throwing a lot of pitches. If he's, you said he's pitched in 2 innings and had 5 strikeouts.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's not unaccustomed to throwing a lot of pitches. So
Now, we talked about that last time where you said that guys that strike out a lot usually throw a lot of pitches.
yeah,
And the first strike here taken is for strike one. 2-1 to count to Logan Shepard. Caden Munster, who is a big fella, is in the on-deck circle right now, hoping for a shot here. Top of the first, scoreless so far. Thanks for joining us on the NCW Life channel. 2-1 to count to Shepard, and Barnes' delivery is high for ball 3.
Did you see that the World Series game where the pitcher from Arkansas ended up throwing a complete game, 135 pitches?
Yeah, which is incredible.
Yeah, and
incredible.
Was there 19 strikeouts, I believe?
Yeah.
In that?
Yeah. It's a Nolan Ryan type of performance.
Yeah.
3-1 pitch is, oh my,
That looked
framed
pretty good.
nicely by Caden Smith, the catcher, but ball 4 according to the home plate umpires. So down to first goes Shepard, and here comes Caden Munster. I said he's a big fella. He's 6'3", 235, sophomore out of Fresno State. He's the first baseman. He's a guy you don't want to collide into if you're beating out ball on the ground
No,
in the
you
infield.
do not. And I would assume that he can hit an inside fastball pretty well, too. We've got a little bit of breeze going out to right field.
Swinging a miss here as he was ahead a little bit on that pitch. 0-1 to count to Munster. Batting .242 coming in for the Harbor Cats. Another one of those teams, well, like the Apple Sox, that has 2 names that are one, and they've got a capitalization twice.
Yes.
Does that make sense? The H and the C in Harbor Cats is capitalized, and it's HARBOURCATS.
French, right?
Canadian, right?
Yeah.
And Apple Sox, of course, with a capital A and a capital S, but all one word. 1-1 to count here to Munster.
So does it make sense? Well, what you said makes sense, but does it make sense in why they say it that way? I don't think so.
Cued off the end of the bat here, fouled. So the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. And for the first time, David Barnes is in front of a hitter in this first frame. Of course, the tradition continues with every strikeout. They hang a sock from the clothesline on the front of the press box here at Paul Thomas. You get 5 of those, and the fans get free prizes.
Yeah, they throw out Apple Sox.
Actual S-O-C-K-S.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The 1-2 pitch from Barnes on the way is a little bit low for ball 2. Our broadcast here on the NCW Life channel brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Give them a call today at 509-662-6842. They're on the web at alpineair.net. When you spell air, put an E on the end of it. 2-2 count to Munster. Rudder board, 2 outs. Pitch on the way, high for a ball. It's like Mr. Barnes is just trying to get himself used to the environs of Paul Thomas Senior Stadium.
Yes. That one, he had a little bit of velocity on that at 96. First baseman's playing behind here. They know he's going to be running on the pitch, and so a left-handed hitter, figure you might as well play behind to give yourself a little bit more space, especially with a guy that I would assume is a pull hitter.
Yep.
So give yourself a little bit more space. And
speaking of big fellas, we talked about big guys before the game. The first baseman for the Wenatchee Apple Sox, who is new to the team, Ethan Thomas, he's 6'7".
Yeah.
You like to have those big fellows over there at the bag.
Easy target,
Yes,
right?
yes. We got 2 6'7s involved in the game tonight. Center fielder for the Harbor Cats, also 6'7", Jacob Doyle. So full count again here to Munster. And the pitch by Barnes. Swung on and hit hard, and that's going to be for a base hit on one hop, picked up by Davis Dorico out in left field.
Another new name for us.
Yes. So runners at first and second, so the Harbor Cats trying to put a little something together here with 2 down. Brings up third baseman Jack Johnson. You were telling me what before the game about his ability
He
to
better be able to sing with a name like that.
or play the guitar.
Yeah.
6'1", 200-pound junior from Baylor, batting .265 coming in.
Their uniforms look a lot like North Carolina Tar Heels, don't they?
Yes, they do. That powder blue top. Now we're going to have a discussion here between Smith and Barnes. Sounds like a law firm. The law firm is Smith and Barnes.
Yeah.
Have you been injured in an accident? See the law firm of Smith and Barnes.
Their conversation there was probably just figuring out what sign they were going to be taking.
Sure, got a runner out at the bag at second, so maybe just making sure everybody's on the same page. Again, we got guys rotating in that haven't been here so far this summer.
Yeah.
Barnes ready for the first pitch on the way to Johnson, and it is, I guess, a little bit inside for a ball. 1-0 the count.
Crowd didn't like that much,
They
did
did not. The only disadvantage, we got away from the speaker, so I'm happy about that. Anybody who's been listening to our broadcast this summer so far knows that we've been battling with the loudspeaker next to the press box at home plate. 1-0 pitch here is a strike, maybe a makeup call. Count even that 1 ball and 1 strike. Only disadvantage here is that we really can't see balls and strikes very well.
Yes, that is true.
From our position on top of the third base dugout. But I feel more of a member of the home team.
Yeah,
here.
I agree.
You know,
yeah, it's kind of nice over here.
1-1 the count to Jack Johnson, and the pitch by Barnes is in there again for a strike. Ball and 2 strikes.
No disagreement from the hitter there, but that looked like it was a little bit higher in the strike zone. But if it's consistent, that's all you can ask for.
Caden Smith behind the plate flashes the signs to Mr. Barnes, and the right-hander ready after a check of the bag at second. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Ball got away from the catcher, but he'll fire down to first base. So K 2-3, and that'll do it for the Harbor Cats. They do get a couple aboard on a base hit and a walk. They leave 2. We'll head to the bottom of the first. No score for Victoria. The Apple Sox do up next. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
You're watching Apple Sox Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel, brought to you in part by Abby's Pizza. For more than 50 years, Abby's has proudly served the Northwest with toppings to the edge. 100% real cheese and freshly rolled dough. Order online at abbys.com. All right, here's the lineup offensively for Mitch Darlington tonight for the Apple Sox with a record of 13-8. Jacob Croxford will bat first. He's the center fielder. Batting second, Theo Kim, the second baseman. Batting third, the DH, Kyle Panyanabon. Batting cleanup, first baseman Ethan Thomas. Batting fifth will be Jake Sanko, the third baseman. Batting sixth will be Cade Martinez, the shortstop. Gunnar Penscover will bat seventh. He's the right fielder. Batting eighth will be Caden Smith, the catcher. And batting ninth, Davis DeRico, the left fielder. On the mound here for the Victoria Harbor Cats, Andrew Carter, a 6'2", 190-pound freshman from Texas Christian. No record so far this season, a 3.17 earned run average. This is his third start. It'll be his fifth game, a 5.21 earned run average. Excuse me, let me check that. 3.17 earned run average. He's pitched 5 2/3. He has 9 strikeouts and 4 walks in his pitching performance so far this summer.
Yeah, we were speaking about spin rate earlier, and his spin rate is significantly higher. I believe that Barnes was throwing about 1,900, and that last pitch that Carter threw was 2,300. Now, this fastball that he just threw there was 1,800. So this is new to us, so I'm going to probably be botching all the numbers. But
so stands to reason to me, if you throw a slider, you'll have more spin on it than
yes.
a fastball.
Yes,
right?
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Which would make it cut through the air.
More a two-seam fastball.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll have to deal with those numbers as we go.
Learning as we go.
So you'll
All
just
right.
learn along with us.
Jacob Croxford stepping up for the Apple Sox, batting 200 in his 6 games so far, Wenatchee uniform. Delivery by the right-hander to him. Goes a little submarine there. And the first pitch taken for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Now, Jacob must be wearing his Central Arizona College helmet, because I haven't seen that in an Apple Sox.
No. Pitch on the way to him is in there for a strike. Snaps the webbing of the glove of catcher Jay Berezowski. Cade Munster, we talked about the big fella. He's over there at first base. Jake Butler is the second baseman. Ross Hudson at short. Jack Johnson at third. Tell you about the outfield defensively for the Harbor Cats coming up after this pitch.
The monster of a man out there in center field.
Yeah, the 0-2 pitch is low for a ball, bouncing in. The count goes to a ball on 2 strikes. Yeah, Connor Ross in left field. Jacob Doyle at 6 feet 7 inches, and he is all of that out there in center field. And Tanner Beltkowski is in right. 1-2 the count to Croxford, leading it off for the Apple Sox.
Remember when the shortstop and the center fielder used to be little guys that could run?
Right. This pitch swung on the ground and slowly to third base. In on the play is the third baseman Johnson, and he might not be able to sing, but he's got good hands. Right?
Yes, yeah, that was quick hands right there.
5-3 on the putout of Croxford, and that brings up Theo Kim. Kim, a 6'2", 200-pound out of the University of California. Is he one that we didn't get the age as far as his year in school? Maybe not.
Theo, he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we got a couple of new guys in the lineup for us tonight that we haven't seen yet.
Theo Kim is one of those. He'll take the first pitch low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Theo, in limited time for the Apple Sox, batting .273 coming into tonight.
Yeah, and we were talking about earlier how there's a lot of 10-day contracts, and one of our became one of our favorites was Brady Bean, and he's no longer with us because he was on a 10-day contract.
Yeah,
so.
No longer with the team, but you keep that number handy if you're Mitch Darlington, because later on you got guys that'll disappear going to school, and hey Brady, you want to come back?
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sure, the word from Mitch on his departure. Say, hey, if you can go pick up and play for another team, great.
Yeah.
But we would like to have you available to us. So
you would
keep
think
your
so,
phone
because he was a good little player.
3-0 count here to Theo Kim, and the pitch to him is in there for a strike. Goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Apple Sox will play Victoria again tomorrow night here at 6:35, and then Sunday at 5:35 at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Grant Olson, our weatherman at the station, was telling me a year ago today, was it 3 years ago today, the temperature 107 degrees on this day.
Thank goodness it's not happening today.
Swing and a foul back by Kim. Count goes full to Theo with 1 down, nobody aboard for the Apple Sox here in the bottom of the first.
There's been quite a bit of that heat going across the country.
Yeah, boy, they say 70% of the country is 90s or above, and for a lot of them, especially Midwest and East Coast and in the South, high humidity as well.
Yes.
It's a dry heat here in Wenatchee. A 3-2 pitch to Kim on the way, swung on a miss. So 2 down for the Apple Sox, brings up Kyle Panyanaban. DH batting .316 for the Apple Sox. Had a pretty good, done a pretty good job of the infield for the Apple Sox too.
Yeah,
the
playing a good
DH
third
role
base
tonight. 5'11", 175-pound sophomore from Cal State Northridge. Now that I know how to say his name, I feel much better about that. Panyanaban with a home run last night in the first inning against Bellingham to get Wenatchee on the scoreboard first. Here comes the pitch to him, and he'll take inside for a ball.
It's an 81-mile-an-hour pitch there, a little slider probably, and
He's, a lot of spin.
Yes. He's been throwing about 90 is what he's topping out at here.
Okay. So. Coming a little sidearm with some of these. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Inside to hit him. Boy, you could hear that from here.
Yeah.
Good news was it was only 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It still hurts.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't care who you are. This will bring up the first baseman, Ethan Thomas, a 6'7", 215-pounder out of the University of Utah, playing first base for the Apple Sox. And in his early stint so far, batting .263 coming in for Wenatchee.
I believe Ethan's the guy that we do not have a year of college on.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. So if somebody watching from Ethan's hometown, following us on our Facebook feed tonight, you can...
Here it says sophomore on the official program.
Oh, okay.
Sophomore out of Enumclaw.
There we go. Hello, Enumclaw. Is it Enumclaw High School? It is, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Do you know the mascot for Enumclaw?
No, but
it'd be appropriate if it was the Bears. Enumclaw
Oh,
Bears.
yeah. There you go.
You like that?
I believe they're red and gold. Enumclaw?
Okay.
I believe.
I'll go for that.
I'll have to look that up.
That's a smallish town. That's got to be, what, a 1A or 2A school, something like that.
You know what? I'll look that up on the WIA site right here.
Fouled at the plate on a check swing by Thomas. Evens the count to him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Apple Sox with a runner aboard. And Panyanaban was going. He was going.
I like to see that.
He was trying to steal it. Good chance to check or to test Jay Berezowski behind the plate catching here for Victoria. Panyanaban with a decent lead over at first base, and the pitch to the plate is swung on a miss, and he was out in front of that one, was Ethan Thomas, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
80 mile an hour. Looked like changeup, but had the spin rate of, I would think, of a slider, so it's hard to tell from this angle.
Our advantage point, right. That could have been a slider that started inside and came across the plate. 1-2 the count. 2 outs, 1 aboard for Wenatchee. Bottom of the first, scoreless so far. Nope, we got a time violation, a clock violation, so that's ball 2 to Thomas. We haven't seen that very often since they instituted it here in West Coast League Baseball.
We saw it a couple years ago, but haven't seen it. I think this is the first time.
First time this year?
Yeah. It's Enumclaw Hornets.
Hornets.
Yes. Okay. They are red and yellow.
Misses low, 3-2 the count. So Panyanaban will be off on the pitch here with full count and 2 down. Andrew Carter looks in, and the right-hander ready with the full count pitch. On the way to the plate as Panyanaban goes. The pitch swung on and grounded to the to the shortstop. He'll field and throw. Had to look down to make sure he got the handle on it, but does is Ross Hudson for the out, and that'll do it for the Apple Sox here as they are retired. They get a man aboard. They leave a man. We'll head to the second inning of play. The Apple Sox and Victoria Harbor Cats are scoreless as you're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can just time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one,
That's a great choice.
and I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Thanks for joining us here on the NCWLIFE channel. Head to the second inning. Scoreless so far between the Sox and the Cats. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Apple Valley Honda. Test drive a new Honda today at Apple Valley Honda. They're over in East Wenatchee, and they're committed to preserving the environment, not only with fuel-efficient vehicles, but also other eco-friendly actions and alternatives. That's at Apple Valley Honda, along with Brandon Schmitten, Eric Granstrom with you. How was Father's Day for you? That's the last time I saw you.
It was great. Yeah, it was really good.
Did you get a tie?
I did not, which is good because I don't wear those anyway.
What? You mean Mr. Schmitten at Eastmont High School doesn't wear a tie?
No, sirree.
Brandon
got to go golfing with my son.
Oh,
so
nice. Where'd you guys go?
We didn't play exceptionally well, but that's okay.
That's not the point.
Went to the
right?
country club and played there. There was a little Father's Day tournament. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Carter Ross leads it off here in the second for Victoria against David Barnes.
And how about yourself?
It was fantastic. Went through to our family property. My 82-year-old father beat me in table tennis.
Ooh.
But it was 21-19, so it was a close game.
Ooh.
But that's okay. That's all right.
Did you spot him any points?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, he just beat me fair and square.
Still has the hand-eye coordination.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. This pitch swung on a grounded to third. Backhanding the ball is Senko. The throw across in time for the out. Nice play.
You know, I went up and played pickleball on Friday up at Lincoln Rock Park. Great spot up there to play pickleball.
Nice.
And
do they have actual pickleball courts? Or you playing
there's
on a tennis court?
three pickleball courts up there.
Nice.
And I tell you, there are some older folks that can play that like
they're serious.
They don't even move, and I'm out there sweating.
You're running around like crazy. Here comes Jacob Doyle, that big fella, and the pitch is swung on grounded to the second baseman, and over to his right is Theo Kim, and he will straighten up and fire over in time for the out. So 2 pitches or 3 pitches and 2 outs.
Pitches. I like that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say he had a 26-pitch inning in the first inning.
Yeah, he could use a quick one here, that's for sure. Jake Butler now steps up, second baseman, a 5'10", 195-pound sophomore from George Mason, batting 160 for Victoria. Again, the Harbor Cats with a record of 12-11. They're still in the hunt, from my perspective, at least. 2 games back heading into the weekend. Pitch here misses low and inside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Butler.
Yeah,
but talking with one of their coaches, he says, we're out of it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
All right.
Never say die, right?
No, I know. If it's me.
Yeah.
If the team I'm coaching, this pitch is, I guess a little inside for a ball. 2-0 the count to Mr. Butler. Victoria and Wenatchee have been almost dead even over the years. 134 to 133.
Wow.
Yeah, Wenatchee with a 1-game advantage in all of the matchups between these two clubs.
Let's not let them catch up this weekend.
Yeah. No. A series win would go a long way towards Wenatchee trying to win that first half title.
Yeah, and if we could get that sweep, that would be really nice for us.
Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy.
Yeah.
Let's get the first one here.
That's right. You can't win them all unless you win the first.
3-0 pitch on the way is in there for a strike, and the count goes to 3-1 to Jake Butler. 2 outs in the inning.
Oh, my goodness. Talking about pickleball, I was sore for like 4 days afterwards, and we only played like 2 games or something.
I am sore today because I listened to my wife. The pitch here is high for a ball. So the second walk of the game here for David Barnes, and that'll bring up the catcher, Jai Berezowski. We learned in the between innings the proper pronunciation for Jai's first name, Jai. So Berezowski steps up with a runner aboard and 2 down. My wife very gently, over the course of our dinner last night, mentioned that it would sure be nice if I could pull some of the weeds that are by the fence.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't say that you got to do it, swing and a miss there, but she very gently suggested
Made it clear that
it would be nice.
Yeah.
She pulled out the line, "You're a homeowner, you know." I was like, yes, dear.
Yeah.
Yes, dear.
My parents got interviewed at our wedding, and my dad's, like, they were asking, "Hey,
Oh
do
yeah,
you have
what's your advice?"
Yeah,
right?
what's your advice?" And my dad's only statement was, "Yes, dear," is a good answer. Yes, dear is a good answer.
Yeah, I agree. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
The 0-2 pitch on the way from Barnes here is swung on a miss, and with a runner at first base, that's an out.
He's almost
should be,
stopping.
right?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, no, because there was 2 outs, so
Okay.
it's clear to run if there's 2 outs.
So a quicker inning for David Barnes there for the Wenatchee Apple Sox defensively. So we will head to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless. You're watching Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Tacos Chava has something new. Customers at Tacos Chava say it's the best Mexican food around. Nachos, enchiladas, tortas, ensaladas. And introducing camarones in many styles. You'll love the fresh salsa bar with so much selection. Are you ready for Tacos Chava? Find them at 2 great locations, the Wenatchee Valley Mall and Eniac. Tacos Chava, tan delicioso.
Number 5, 6, 7 due up here for the Apple Sox in their part of the second. Scoreless game here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. It'll be Jake Sanko, Cade Martinez, and Gunnar Penscover for Wenatchee. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Turn to the experts at Alpine Air. Give them a call at 509-662-6842. That's 509-662-6842. Along with Brandon Schmidt and Eric Grandstrom with you on a pleasant night in the ballpark. It is a little breezy, blowing out to right field again. Surprise, surprise. That never happens here.
Never, never, ever.
We are closer to the barbecue grill here, which makes it a little more difficult if you haven't eaten so far tonight.
I did see you chowing down on the hot dog earlier.
I did. Well, the last
the
time.
lucky hot dog and the lucky gum.
Before the game. And last time we were here, and Wenatchee won 21-9. So I was hoping to, repercolate the luck.
That's right.
With the hot dog. My grandfather, now I come from a family of Finns and Swedes. My grandfather always called hot dogs gumagoides. I don't know if that's an actual phrase or if that's his own term.
Right.
But so I'm hoping for some gumagoida luck.
There you go. Not a Frankfurter.
No,
but
gumagoida.
It's kind of like Kyle's name. I'll let you pronounce it.
Oh, Pinyanabon?
KP. Yeah, yes, KP's name.
So Jake Sanko steps up here for the Apple Sox to lead it off in the right-handed batter's box. And the first pitch to him is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Jake, 5'10", 180-pound sophomore from Grand Canyon, batting .241 for the Apple Sox. Made a nice play defensively at third already here tonight. 1-0 count to him from Andrew Carter, and the pitch on the way, swung on and fouled at the plate. The count goes to a ball and a strike. I like these uniforms, by the way, for the Apple Sox.
Yeah, I do too.
Love the all-white.
Classic. Simple and classic, right?
Yes, yes.
Kind of reminds me of the old Cardinals uniform where they had the bird sitting on the
swish underneath the Cardinals
with the bat there.
Yeah, yeah. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Sanko. It's swung on and fouled, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Jake, I think, is a little angry with himself that he missed that one.
Yeah, that was, speaking of small shortstops, Ozzie Smith.
Yes.
Man.
The flip.
Oh, The backhand spring back flip.
I'll tell you, that guy was just a
Athletic.
magician.
Oh, he was.
And to play most of his career in the summertime in St. Louis on that turf they had, oh my gosh.
You might
Fried
as
your
well
brains.
played on asphalt.
Yeah, we're played on the sun, surface
Yeah.
of the sun. This pitch misses high and inside. Little chin music for Sanko as he bends away from it. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That right there is where turf gets a bad calling.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and that was the old AstroTurf too. So
Yes.
it may have been concrete underneath of that surface. This pitch goes all the way to the backstop.
Have we talked about the reason why it's called AstroTurf?
Because it was in the Astrodome. It was the first time that it was
Yes.
that it came out to the public was
Because-
the fake grass in the Astrodome.
That's right. They tried to make the roof somewhat translucent, so then it would allow light to come in. So they had grass in there initially.
That grass died.
And then it all died. So then they
Pitch here swung on and a well-hit ball to left field, going back. Goodbye. Home run for Jake Sanko, and the Apple Sox take a 1-0 lead.
There was no doubt about that one, was there? Let's see, we have an exit velo here, if we can find it. The distance was 350 feet, 3 inches.
Yeah, and hit that second layer that's above the outfield wall here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. So there's netting out there. So the ball kind of came back in towards the left fielder, Connor Ross. But, of course, a home run. So the Apple Sox strike first on the home run by Jake Sanko.
Exit velo. They always talk about exit velo in the major leagues and launch angle and everything. And that exit velo there was 103, which would be pretty darn good in the major leagues.
Do we have the launch angle here, too?
I didn't find that quick enough.
Oh, okay.
I bet you it was right here at the exit angle. I'll get that quicker next time.
That's quite all right. We're learning the app here, basically. Quickly behind in the count here is Cade Martinez, shortstop for the Apple Sox, batting .262 on the summer out of UC San Diego.
Yeah, so they had to create a turf, and so that's why they put it in there, and they called it, thus, like you said, the AstroTurf.
Which immediately was very popular, and you saw it in stadiums all around the country. Baseball fields, football fields.
Yes.
Soccer complexes.
And then they realized how bad that was for all aspects.
It didn't give, that's for sure. Had that in the Kingdome.
Yeah.
Pitch here swung on a grounded to the third baseman and goes off of the glove of Jack Johnson. And that'll be an E5 to allow Cade Martinez to get aboard. And that brings up Gunnar Penscover, right fielder. Comes in batting .368 in the 7-hole here for Coach Mitch Darlington, 5'11", 165-pound sophomore. They got a couple of Grand Canyon products playing for the Apple Sox here this summer.
Being a math guy, you know that 368 is not an easy number to get to, so he's had plenty of at-bats to get to that 368 this summer.
If you go across my tabs there, I can't see it from here to be able to do it, but I've got all the other tabs up as far as hitting and how many at-bats and all that kind of fun stuff. First pitch here to Gunnar Penscover is in there for a called strike, 0-1 to count.
So 14 of 38. Yeah, so that's quite a bit of
pretty good sample size right there. 0-1 pitch to Penscover on the way, swung on and fisted up the first baseline. Was that off the end of the bat?
It was, yeah.
Boy, the old days, that stung like crazy.
Yes,
these guys now, they don't even, that doesn't bother me.
Maybe they're tougher.
I'd be shaking my hand, blowing on them.
Better batting gloves, or
yeah, right.
a little bit warmer than than Cedro Woolley baseball.
0-2 count here to Penscover. Got my 40-year class reunion coming up next summer.
It's amazing how quick it goes.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. This pitch swung grounded through the right side for a base hit. And holding up at second is Martinez. The Apple Sox cooking here in the second inning. A run in, 2 aboard, nobody out. Brings up Caden Smith.
I don't know if you saw that at home, but the second baseman was pointing at the runner and directing the point at the umpire, and the umpire gave a safe signal, just meaning that second baseman was assuming that maybe hit our runner as he was going from first to second base there, but it didn't. So
Smith looking for his first hit of the summer, coming in batting 0. Pitch on the way to him as he squares the bunt, and that's right up Mitch Darlington's sleeve with runners at first and second, nobody out.
I love seeing that.
He'll take the first pitch for a strike, 0-1 the count. Or no, excuse me, it was a ball, so 1-0 the count here to Smith. Caden back in the right-handed batter's box, wags that blonde bat around his head, and a pitch on the way, squares the bunt again. This time he'll push the bat across, and that'll even the count to 1-1 strike.
You know, I like seeing this too, especially right now with, as we've talked about, the sun is brutal right here for the first baseman, and now if he gets this bunt down, it should be going to the third baseman, and the second baseman coming over is have to be running and visualizing a ball directly into the sun.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Great time for this.
Pitch on the way, he'll swing away and miss. Strike 2. So now you just got to put bat on ball and hopefully take it to the right side of the infield. Or, you know, base hit.
Yeah,
that works too.
Base hit works really
Your
well
first,
right here.
First hit in an Apple Sock uniform. 1 in for the Apple Sox on a home run by Jake Sanko. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's high and inside, or did it hit him? It did.
Well, we'll take
that
too. Anyway on.
So second hit batsman by Andrew Carter here, the starter for Victoria. Did you look at how many pitchers they have on their roster, by the way?
Oh, it's large, isn't
About
it?
107.
Yeah. Now, is there a limit that they can have on these rosters?
There is at a certain point to the summer.
Okay.
Yes. We're going to get, speaking of which, the pitching coach for Victoria coming out to have a little talk as Scott Anderson comes out of the dugout on the first base side. Davis DeRico, sophomore for Grand Canyon, also looking for his first base hit. Wouldn't it be nice to have that with the bases loaded?
Oh, yeah, that would be good. First base hit, couple RBIs. Good way to break into Apple Sox uniform.
Yeah, definitely so. We've seen some really good debuts here at Paul Thomas over the years. Nobody comes to mind specifically, but we have seen some very good debuts at the plate.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it Cade Smith who had a good debut last time we were here? Pitch here is inside and almost clipped him. 1-0 the count to Davis DeRico, 5'11", 165 pounds, sophomore for Grand Canyon. Bags are full of socks here for Wenatchee in a 1-0 ball game. Still nobody out. Pitch on the way. Low for a ball. Had some zip to it.
That did. Let's see what we got there for a little 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, you said that his fastball, he's been in that low 90 range.
Yeah. Yeah, upper 80s, lower 90s. And
2-0 count here. Hitter's pitch, if you will. Pitch on the way. Swung on and chopped foul. And
foul ball, yeah.
Yeah, the catcher came from behind the plate, grabbed the ball, stepped on home.
Which is smart. I mean, umpires should be yelling foul on that. That's the only time an umpire should be speaking other than ball and strike. If the ball is hit and play, is
umpire raised his hands immediately, signaling that it was a foul ball. But for the catcher's perspective, he doesn't know.
No.
Doesn't have eyes in the back of his head.
Right.
2-1 to count here as Andrew Carter trying to work out of a jam, and the pitch on the way is low for a ball. 3-1 to count. Apple Sox fans are feeling a little excitement here. One more pitch out of the strike zone, and the Sox add another run. Martinez at third, Penscover at second, Smith at first, and the 3-1 pitch on the way to Davis DeRico from Andrew Carter. Swung on and grounded to the second baseman. That's going to get
great play
smothered
there
by the second or the shortstop. Great play by the shortstop to keep just one run from, one run coming home. Sox lead at 2-0, but give credit to Hudson Shoup on that diving play to smother it, because 2 runs are going to score easy there.
100%. That was a great play. Kept it in the rim, kept it to 1 run scored instead of 2 there. Good play.
So you give him an
It's fun to
infield,
see those, right?
infield single right there, Coach?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
All right. So,
Yep.
and an RBI for DeRico, so he gets his first hit and an RBI to boot. Sox
you
up
go.
2-0. Back to the top of the order for Jacob Croxford. Pitch to Croxford on the way, low and outside, got away from the catcher, but bounced up the first baseline. So staying at third on the play is Penscover. And the count 1-0 to Jacob Croxford. As a right-hander starts to warm up down in the bullpen area for Victoria. Definitely not how they wanted to start this series.
No.
After a rain out last night. Pitch on the way here, swung on and chopped foul.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, there we go. It's Shea Lake from West Texas A&M is down in the bullpen, starting to get loose.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel bad for their catcher over there trying to catch the bullpen with that sun,
Because
too.
the sun's right in
Yeah.
his eyes as well. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Croxford. Oh, my goodness, over the top of his head. And I'm sure he'll probably get a little razzing from his teammates saying, hey, take one for the team.
Yeah, take one for the team and drop the bat, too.
Yeah, chance to
that
pick
thing
up,
was up there.
an RBI. Yeah, he almost could have got an accidental foul ball there.
Yeah.
Help the pitcher out.
Or maybe a base hit.
Nobody out in the inning. Sox with 2 runs in, bases loaded, trying to open it up here against Victoria in game 1 of the 3-game series. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Croxford on the way, and this one is inside, missing for ball 3.
I like that.
So again, another 3-ball count. Third time this inning on a 3-ball count. This time to Jacob Croxford. Pitch on the way is getting away from the catcher, but it's ball 4 anyway. So run will score. The Apple Sox are up 3-0.
Patience right there. Patience at the plate. It's good to see. You know, we talk about pitch count a lot, and Andrew Carter had a pretty quick first inning, 18 pitches, and he's running it up there a lot in this inning. So that's good by the Apple Sox to see a lot of pitches. Every batter that we've seen so far has had at least 3 pitches.
Yep.
So.
7th man to the plate is Theo Kim. He struck out swinging in the first. Bases still loaded. 3 runs in for the Apple Sox. Pitch on the way is low for a ball. 1-0 the count. And get a pitcher like this, it gets into a sticky situation, and that strike zone just seems to get smaller and smaller and
yeah,
smaller.
and then you start aiming and
Yep, right. Not just pitching. 1-0 pitch on the way, bounces in for a ball. Ball got away from the catcher, but again, we've talked about this. Not a lot of distance behind home plate here to the backstop behind home plate. That one bounced up the first baseline.
And another thing, too, is we've got nobody out, and we've got the bases loaded, and he's having trouble throwing strikes.
Yep.
So we don't want to, unless you have a great read on that, there's no real reason to.
That's probably exactly what Mitch Darlington is talking to Caden Smith about at the third base bag. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit to the right field. That's going to drop down for a base hit. 1 run scores. Rounding third and coming home on a 2-run single for the Apple Sox is Davis DeRico. Wenatchee up 5-0.
I like to see that. That was a nice line drive hit there by Theo Kim. And Croxford showing why he's the leadoff hitter, not even thinking about slowing down at second base, continuing on to go to third there. So now we got first and third situation.
And a pitching change will be made here in the second. We'll tell you whom that is when we come back after a 60-second timeout. 5 runs in for the Apple Sox here in the second. They lead at 5-0. We're back after this on the NCWLIFE channel.
A new video game, a movie, dinner with friends. There are a lot of things worth saving up for. Vapes aren't cheap, and buying pods over and over can stop you from affording things you want more. When it comes to your money, choose what matters. Choose you.
When life gets stressful, jumping into your passions can help you find your calm. Avoid vapes, which contain nicotine and can make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. When it comes to your mental health, choose what matters. Choose you.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition. Here's a good-looking pizza, guaranteed to bring some summer smiles. And right now, it's on sale, so it's good for your wallet too. This giant is loaded with toppings and can feed up to 6 people. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. It's the summer of good, only at Abby's Legendary Pizza.
New pitcher for Victoria here for the Harbor Cats coming into the ball game is Shay Lake. Shay Lake is a junior from Texas A&M. He's a good one. He's pitched only 6 1/3, but he's not giving up a lot. In 3 games, 1.42 earned run average, a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and 7 strikeouts. My goodness.
Yeah.
So Shea takes over, 6'3", 195-pound right-hander. Will take over for Andrew Carter, who's responsible for everybody on board and everybody who's come in. 2 men left on the base paths right now are the responsibility of Mr. Carter. That will have a tendency to balloon your ERA quite a bit, as he came in with a 3.17 and right now has that probably going to at least double.
Yeah.
With 5 runs in here in the inning.
How many innings did he have previous to this game?
He had pitched 5 2/3.
Yeah.
So
it's going to escalate quickly.
Yeah, he has 1+ here tonight. Stepping up for the Apple Sox will be Kyle Paganaban. Kyle was hit by a pitch in the first, was left on the base pass. Wenatchee striking for gold here in the second with 5 runs in. Their 8th man coming to the plate here to face Shea Lake. Pitch on the way is high for a ball. 1-0 the count, and not what the coaching staff for Victoria wants is your reliever to come in and throw a ball right away.
Yeah, that's not even close to what you want.
Paganaban back in the right-handed batter's box. Lake with a check over shoulder now throws that way. The ball got away from the first baseman, but not far, and that's that battle with the sun you're talking about.
It is, yeah. Yeah, we were dealing that with the computer earlier.
You were. We were. We are in the same shadows now that stretch out to across the field and put the pitcher in the shade as a little breeze continues to blow. It's not all that warm here at the ballpark. This pitch swung on and hit down the right field line. Will it stay fair? No, it won't. About 6 feet foul. 1-1 to Paganaban.
So Shea's got a fastball in the mid-80s. 85 was that one, and he's liking to throw his off-speed pitches in the upper 70s. So significantly different than what we've got coming out of our arm of Barnes. Mid to upper 90s.
Runners on the corners for Wenatchee. Still nobody out, and a snap throw down to first base. Close play, but not in time on the throw. Good idea by catcher Jai Berezowski. Count goes to 2-1 on Paganaban. Boy, you love that right side of the infield here with a first baseman holding the runner aboard.
Yeah.
You'd love it if Paganaban could
get a little hit and run going. Hit and run action.
Here comes Shea Lake's pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Hefty swing there, and the count evens to Paganaban on 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 home run tonight to left field. Again, we talked about that. We haven't seen many balls hit out of Paul Thomas to the left side here.
No, we have not. A lot of them to right field by right-handed hitters even.
Jake Sanko started this rally for the Apple Sox with the home run to left. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses outside for ball 3.
Walking up, Kyle. Here you go. Walking up.
Lights are on here at the ballpark, but we're a long time from needing them.
Yes, we are. But
power's cheap here.
Yes.
Some of the cheapest power in the world, by the way. Runner for first goes. The pitch swung on a grounded to the third baseman. They'll throw home, and the throw is in time, and they got him out at home. That was an interesting decision by the runner from third base there.
Yeah, I like that, though, in the sense defensively for them. Defensively, I like the fact that he went home on that. And we had a runner going on that, so we know that he's going to stay out of the double play. So you might as well take it hopped pretty high. So all in all, I thought that was a pretty well-played play runner-wise and defensively there. It sucks to get the out at home plate, but
well, you got 5 runs in the bank already. Why not try to get another one? Because you have to field it, you have to throw it, and you have to tag it.
Yeah.
So you got to complete 3 parts of that song to make it a serenade. Runner from second goes to third, and they got him on a pickoff move by the pitcher. That was a double steal attempt for the Apple Sox, and it did not go very well at all.
No, that was well executed by their pitcher.
So caught stealing is Theo Kim. 1-5 on the second out. And that runner from first didn't advance, so Peñanabon still over there. And the pitch here swung on a miss by Ethan Thomas. 0-1 to count to Thomas.
0-2 now.
Oh, excuse me. That was
we had the foul ball.
That's right.
Earlier. 0-2 and 2 outs. This inning changed quickly, didn't it?
It did.
You can see why Shea Lake might have a low ERA with just his presence on the mound.
Yeah, that helped. Pitch here is a little bit outside for a ball. 1-2 to count to Thomas. Thomas grounded out to short in his first plate appearance back in the first. 9th man to come to the plate here for the Apple Sox in this 5-run second inning so far. 2 down now with a runner at first base. And the pitch swung on and cued off the end of the bat strangely. It's got a lot of English to it, but the second baseman's over to his left field. Jake Butler will throw, and that'll do it for Wenatchee. But they do get 5 runs in the inning. We'll head to the 3rd frame with the Apple Sox leading at 5-0. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Welcome back to the ballpark as we head to the 3rd inning of play, and we have a new pitcher for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Taking over on the mound is number 34.
I don't believe this is Alec Ammerman, though.
Okay.
So
no, because he pitched. He started, I think, last night's game in Bellingham. So they say it's Blake. They say it's Blake Sandvik. You were just talking about him, weren't you?
Yeah, he just got. This is Blake Sandvik.
Yeah, we thought he was no longer on the roster.
Right. Blake, congratulations to him, just got picked up by University of Oregon. So we talk about this a lot, about how people will get picked up by colleges due to the fact that they're out here playing and performing well. And we had talked about how well Blake performed in that first game that we did.
Yeah.
And looks like it earned him a spot where he wants to be.
So University of Oregon, at first we thought, well, he must be done because the college may have said, nah, you're done. But here he is, getting a relief appearance here for the Apple Sox after David Barnes goes 2 innings, gave up just 1 hit, no runs. So his night is done. And now leadoff man, Kanner Beltkowski, will step up, and the first pitch to him is in there for a strike. 0-1 to count to Beltkowski.
And you know, I remember us talking about, man, it would be nice to see his velocity. 87, so upper 80s. So pitch is very stiff and very easy here.
Pitch on the way is an off-speed pitch missing outside for a ball. 1-1 to count. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Biosports Physical Therapy, Aquatherapy, Sports Biomechanics, Orthopedic Physical Therapy, Orthotics, all you need to keep moving. Find them online at biosports.net. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fastball here is in for a strike. Well, I thought it was a fastball, but then I looked down at your speed demon over there, and it says it was 77.
Yeah, and spin rate of 2,500.
So 1-2 the count to Belkowski, who's 0 for 1. He struck out looking in the first, and the pitch to him. Swung on a hit hard, and that's right past the glove of Senko into left field for a base hit. That was hit hard.
Yeah, 102 miles an hour off the bat. I love this TrackMan thing. It's like a toy.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So one aboard to lead off here in the third, and as we learned here, we're a long way from being over. We saw the Apple Sox earlier this summer score 6 runs in an inning and end up losing the game in extras.
Well, and
that was against Kamloops.
Yeah, and we scored 21 runs in a game and gave up 9.
Gave up 7 in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
Hudson Shoup now steps up with a runner at first base. Pitch to him, swung on a hit hard up the middle for a base hit. Rounding second, heading for third. And the runner Belkowski will get into third base safely on the base hits to center by Hudson Shoup, and those are a couple of hard hit balls in a row.
Those were both hard hit balls. I didn't get a look at my toy there to find out how fast it was coming off the bat, but yeah, both those were stung pretty well.
Well, 5 runs for the Apple Sox in their part of the second. Now here we are in the third with nobody out and runners on the corners for Victoria as they try to strike right back, and the guy at the plate right now is one to do so. Watch out for Logan Shepard, the designated hitter. Pitch on the way by Sandvik is off speed, missing for a ball. A little flinch there by Shepard, but he does not swing. 1-0 the count. Shepard deep in that right-handed batter's box, all the way to the back of the box. And the pitch by Sandvik is outside for ball 2. Sometimes those first pitch strikes, we've seen that with the Mariners where they, pitching staff has been known so much for throwing strikes and getting the ball over the plate. Sometimes a team can go, okay, I'm going to be aggressive and swing at your first pitches.
Right.
Which is what we saw for the first 2 batters here in this inning. This pitch misses low for ball 3, 3-0 the count.
Yeah, that's one thing I had to talk to one of our pitchers. He was a really good pitcher, and he was not effectively wild. So when we would tell him, hey, miss outside, he would miss an inch outside. And he was consistent there. And I'm like, you need to be effectively wild. So he'd get 0-2. And then when he became a better pitcher, he was able to miss 3 inches outside. So it appeared like, hey, is that going to be a strike or not? So they were swinging and not making as good a contact.
Sure.
So that's something that it's difficult. I mean, you're only trying to hit 18 inches, right?
Right.
And if you can be that accurate that you can miss a couple inches more.
3-1 pitch on the way is low for ball 4. That's going to bring Quincy Vassar out of the dugout for the Apple Sox, pitching coach for Wenatchee. I had a chance to visit with Quincy a little bit before the game. Of course, Quincy holds the strikeout record for the Apple Sox, pitching, 3 summers for Wenatchee? 3 or 4 anyway. And I said, so are you liking this? He says, yes. He says, I don't hurt so bad.
Oh, man.
And I said, we were kind of, joking on the air about the fact that maybe one of these non-league games you might, get there out there on the mound. He says 364 days to rest after that? Maybe.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. It is amazing how much wear and tear that these guys put on their bodies. It used to be where you'd go and play. The elite guys would go up to the Cape Cod League up in the upper northeast in New England, and then you'd have an Alaska group that would play too. But now you've got these leagues everywhere.
All these summer collegiate leagues all around the country now.
So it's almost like they never have a day off.
Cade Munster steps up. He has the bases full of Harbor Cats, and the first pitch to him by Sandvik, off speed, in there for a strike, 0-1 to count. So what do you think the conversation with Quincy Vassar and his pitcher was?
I think just watching that pitch right there, he wasn't overthrowing it. You looked at the previous pitches and he was throwing a little bit harder and trying to get more bite on that slider, but he knows that he's got good stuff. So, you know, you just got to trust your stuff. There he went with a slider that he didn't throw as hard, and then he came back with a hard fastball at 89 miles an hour. And that's going to be something where he's going to be at his best.
You go off speed, then go 89 fastball. That seems like it's 99.
Right, exactly.
0-2 count to Munster here, and the pitch on the way low for a ball. Good stop by Caden Smith. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. But that's where you want to be effectively wild. That's what you're just talking about,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Miss,
induce,
but don't miss closely.
Yeah. Get him to swing at that pitch. There's no way he's hitting it unless he's Ichiro. Yeah. Remember that one that he hit on the bounce?
1-2 the count here to Munster. Pitch on the way. Swung on. This is a well-hit ball to right field. Right fielder will get it on the warning track. That's going to score a run on the sacrifice fly. 1 out, 1 in. It's 5-1.
I think we'll take that, though. With Munster up, he's a good hitter. We'll take the fly out, sacrifice fly. You know, gives up 1 run, but it's not 4.
So Shoup winds up over at third base on the play. In to score is Beltkowski. 1 out in the inning, and that brings up Jack Johnson with runners on the corners. Johnson struck out at his first plate appearance against David Barnes. Now Blake Sandvig, relief pitching for the Apple Sox.
Got him.
Good move to the bag at first. Got him. Ball bounced in, but a nice play over there by Ethan Thomas on the pick.
You know, this is where they would have a replay in the major leagues nowadays. They would ask for the replay to be done, but there are no cameras here to show that replay. So
Todd Haney is the head coach for Victoria. He's the third base coach here when they're on offense, and having a discussion with our field umpire Bryce Reeves about whether or not he saw that well enough. There is a little grin there as Reeves departs, so a friendly conversation.
Yes, it was. I mean, the throw obviously beat him, and he's questioning whether the tag was made because of the ball bouncing in the dirt, but it was a great job by our first baseman there to pick that. And
nice job by Thomas over there. So 2 down now, and that's a little sigh of relief for Mr. Sandvik. Pitch to Johnson, in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Jack. That's a beautiful pickoff move.
Yeah, it was.
I think we saw that his first appearance, too, for the Apple Sox in our first broadcast back on opening day. 0-1 the count to Johnson with a runner at third base. If he can get out of this and just give up just the 1 run, that would be amazing. And it looks like he might, as the pitcher will head over to first and field the ball from Ethan Thomas. That'll be it. Nice job by Sandvik to pitch around a bases-loaded jam. Gives up 1, that's it. We'll head to the bottom of the third. It's 5-1, Wenatchee on top. You're watching Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Here we go to the bottom of the third, 5-1 ball game for the Apple Sox on top. They'll start it off here in the third, where they did in the second with Jake Sanko. They'll be followed by Cade Martinez and Gunnar Penskover here for the Wenatchee Apple Sox.
Yeah, that was a really good job of Sandvik there to get out of that inning. You know, that could have been a bunch of trouble there.
Yeah.
to get out of there with
could have
only,
been a 5-5 game suddenly.
It could have very easily. And he only threw 16 pitches with all those runners.
Which is pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah.
Senko started us off in the last frame with a solo home run to right or to left, and he'll take the first pitch here for a strike, as he'll see Shea Lake for the first time since Lake came in to relieve Andrew Carter. This pitch swung on and hit in the air to right field. In on the ball is Belkowski, and he'll make the catch for the out.
I was hoping he was going to have problems with the sun on that one, but no
or the
luck.
wind or something. Yeah. Weather-related oopsie.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Cade Martinez steps up. He got a board on an error on the third baseman. Came around to score. By the way, Andrew Carter goes 1+, gave up 5 runs, 3 hits, 4 earned, 1 strikeout. He also hit a couple of batters. Swing and a miss here by Martinez, 0-1 the count. So one thing about Cade, just in the little time that I've seen him here for the Apple Sox, he will not be cheated in an at-bat.
No, he will not. No, he likes to take his swings.
1-1 the count after he takes ball 1. Top of the ninth for the Seattle Mariners. They were leading in Texas. I'm trying to get my... There we go. Now it's tied 5-5. 1-2 the count to Martinez. He'll take ball 2. So Mariners had a big lead in that game at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, they were ahead 4-1, and then, or excuse me, 5-1, and gave up 3 runs in the 6th.
Good eye by Martinez there, who now runs the count full against Shea Lake in his second inning of relief here for the Victoria Harbor Cats. Pitch on the way, bounces in, goes all the way to the backstop.
Good at bat.
So he was behind and then works a walk out of it. So Cade, a lot of speed out there at first base for Gunnar Penskover.
Had a base hit in the last inning.
Yeah, went the opposite way.
Yeah.
I always like to see that.
Yeah, that was one where we were or the second baseman was questioning whether Cade got hit by the ball or not.
So Cade again at first base for Penskover. Pitch to him is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Only 75 miles an hour on that pitch. So your average high school pitcher, average, what are they throwing?
I would, if somebody is throwing in the low to mid 80s, they're throwing pretty hard.
Okay.
So
okay.
You know, you'll have some guys that are low 70s, and they can be very, very, very effective as long as they have a lot of movement on their ball. If they're throwing a really straight ball, then they'll probably get hit pretty well. But we look and see it. Sandvik here, you know, pitching for us. When he throws, you can see his ball moving laterally. So right to left, and that's going to be a hard ball to hit for hitters. So there's arm slots that you can do in the way that you can get a ball to come off your finger to make it where the ball will move more, and that's going to be something that will make you become more effective.
Penskover pops up to the shortstop infield fly. Martinez stays at first base. That'll bring up Caden Smith. Smith hit by a pitch in the second, eventually came around to score. Theo Kim with a big 2-run single in that 5-run second inning for the Apple Sox.
Looks like he's going here. Oh,
runner
getting his timing down.
Yeah, fakes a run to second. Catcher bounces up and looks that way. Pitch misses for a ball. 1-0 the count to Caden Smith. Another toss to the bag at first. This one softly. Just a little friendly reminder.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Know you're there. Ooh, a swing and a miss out in front of that pitch, off speed.
74-mile-an-hour pitch.
Evens the pitch, or the count of 1 ball and 1 strike on Smith here.
I wish I knew what this horizontal break and induced vertical break was. That would be
swing and a miss here. Fastball, high cheese. By the way, while we're watching TrackMan give us these stats here, on top of the third base dugout, down on the rail in front of us, I could see right over the shoulder of one of the Apple Sox who's also looking at the same metrics.
Is he? Yeah. There's that strike 3 called there that we were talking about earlier, a little bit higher in the strike zone, but he's been consistent, so you can't argue that.
Apple Sox leave a man here in the third. We'll head to the 4th frame. It's 5-1. Wenatchee on top. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
3, 2, 1, go!
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Get a great deal on making the most of every property. The Kubota commercial landscape lineup is built to do more. From the RTVX utility vehicle to the Z700 mower to the SVL track loader. When your reputation is on the line, you need equipment that doesn't let you down. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months, or save up to $4,000.
You're watching Apple Sox baseball here on the NCWLIFE channel, as our broadcast brought to you in part by Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate for all your real estate needs in Central Washington. Call Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate at 509-888-8887. That's 509-888-8887. We have Sandvik still on the mound here for the Wenatchee Apple Sox as we head to the 4th inning of play. Connor Ross will lead it off for Victoria. He's followed by Jacob Doyle and Jake Butler. Apple Sox and Victoria 5-1 ball game. 4 hits for the Apple Sox, 3 for the Harbor Cats. And the first pitch from Sandvik here is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, since that conversation of Quincy out there, he's looks like a totally different pitcher. Good job, Quincy.
Well, you mentioned maybe overthrowing a little bit.
Yeah.
The 0-1 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled away.
He looks like he's still throwing that fastball hard. That was fastball there, 88. But you can see it. I would suspect here that there's going to be an off-speed pitch. So we can just look at his mechanics here and see if he's overthrowing this, which I wouldn't mind it because he's ahead in the count. But that one he didn't. That was just a good pitch right there.
A good pitch. Out of the strike zone for a ball. 1-2 the count to Ross, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out to third to lead off the second. We're in the 4th. 5-1 Wenatchee on top. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses up for ball 2. 2-2. You like that pitch? I mean,
I
try
do.
to get him to chase high, right?
Yep, I do. And now he's probably going to come in with the pitches that he throws here. I would expect a slider on the inside part of the plate.
Sandvik ready, and here comes the pitch on the way, and you called it. Bouncer over the mound, shortstop in, fields and throws, and pull him off the bag.
Good.
Got him, though, on the tag.
That's why you get rid of that ball quick, too, as a shortstop, because then if there is a poor throw, then you have time to have the first baseman come off and make a tag.
Well, here comes Todd Haney. Troy Birtwhistle had a few words for our base umpire, and now head coach Todd Haney's going to come over and see if Mr. Reeves needs a little help from the home plate umpire, and they will confer here. I thought, from my perspective, that the base runner was safe.
Yeah, and it's so hard to tell from here. That's why I don't think this can be overturned, because
Lance Creek is our home plate umpire. He's now discussing it with Bryce Reeves, the base umpire. So do we have a runner aboard, or do we have one out? Right now it's one out. That's how it was called on the field. Pretty tough to overturn that.
It is, but it's a lengthy conversation here.
Well, especially with the home plate umpire. Oh, now they're going to say safe. Wow. Wow. So how do you score that there, Coach? I mean, that was a slow dribbler to the shortstop. His throw was a little off the line. If he'd thrown it right to the bag, that would be an out. So E6 on
E6, yep.
Okay. So that'll bring up Jacob Doyle. At 6'7", he has a very large strike zone, if you will. Here comes the pitch by Sandvik on the way right down the middle for a called strike. 0-1 the count. And Blake probably not too happy about the circumstances with a runner behind him at the bag at first right now.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Sandvik ready. And the pitch to Doyle is off speed in there for a strike. 0-2 the count. You love to see a pitcher come back like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's something that we've seen out of him, too. He's like, grit your teeth, and I'm going to get the job done here, too.
Sandvik back on the hill and ready, and here he comes with the 0-2 pitch.
Nice.
Check swing. Home plate umpire says he did not go. They appeal, even though the umpire on the base pass is right now behind the mound. So it's a tough angle for him to see it. 1-2 the count, as he did not go on the check swing, according to our crew here tonight. Ross at first base, left fielder, the pitch on the way, swung on and missed, goes all the way to the backstop. Meanwhile, down to second on the wild pitch, strikeouts will go the runner. Meanwhile, the strikeout for Sandvik is his first of the night. 1 out in the inning. That brings up Jake Butler.
You know, like I was saying with Blake, seems like the tougher situation it is, the better he gets. You know what I mean? You get the bases loaded, and I'm gonna grit my teeth, and I'm gonna get the job done.
So Butler steps up. He is, he's walked in his first plate appearance back in the second. First pitch to him here. He is in there for a strike at 87. 0-1 the count to Butler. Again, Jake came into the ballgame batting 160. So Blake Sandvik, this is your chance, young fella, to get yourself out of it in the bottom of the order. Runner at second, 1 down for Victoria. And the 0-1 pitch. Strike called. I think the crowd talked our home plate umpire Lance Creek into that one.
Well, again, that was that upper level pitch that he's been calling.
He has been calling that, certainly. 0-2 the count here to Butler with first base open. Ross out at second base, 1 out in the inning for Victoria in a 5-1 ball game. Sandvik is going to cross step over the back of the hill.
You know, I really like that because I was just in my head thinking he has got to tell on when he's pitching, because if you watch his hands, he lifts his hands and then starts going. So if he can show that he can get a pick move out of this, then that makes it where that's no longer something that they can start running off of.
Misses with the third pitch to Butler, so it goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Breeze still blowing from left to right here at the ballpark. A little out to right field from where we sit. Blake Sandvik and a mixture of sun and shade out there on the mound for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. The 1-2 pitch on the way to the plate. Swung on a miss. Pulled the string on that one. Beauty pitch.
Did.
2 outs and 2 strikeouts in a row, and that brings up Jai Berezowski. Berezowski struck out back in the second to end the inning.
And there's some Sox flying out. 5th strikeout of the game, so
there we go.
The workers are throwing out.
Tradition continues. I think it used to be 7 strikeouts back in the day.
Well, and it used to be 10, and you'd get a free drink at the no longer.
That's right.
Sonic.
That's right. That's Sonic.
Man, they had good ice cream.
Pitch here misses for ball 1, I think.
Yes.
The scoreboard hasn't kept up with that. To Berezowski.
All right, well, the Mariners scored a run in the top of the 10th. You know, I was going to say something about that. I don't know how much I like that rule of starting with a runner at second base.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I know it's all about speeding up the game.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about time frame in baseball and the popularity of baseball, don't play 162 games.
Exactly.
Play half that.
Yeah. Yeah, then you would have guys that would be healthier.
That's right. That's right. Berezowski back in already ahead of the count at 2-0. But Sandvik checks the runner at second base. Pitch on the way to the plate is in there for a strike.
That being said, though, the nice thing about the 162 games is it makes a lot of games somewhat affordable for people to go to.
Yes.
If you cut it down to,
by far and away above any other professional sports.
Yes. Yeah.
Try to go to a Kraken game. Try to go to a Seahawks game.
Right.
Need to give blood on your way to the ballpark.
Well, in the Kraken game, they're sold out on a Wednesday in January.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Swing and a miss here by Berezowski. So Sandvik one pitch away from striking out the side here after Ross got aboard on a throwing error on a close play at the bag at first that was called out initially and then overruled. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way, missing outside and low for ball 3.
Let's go. Win the battle.
We have had a lot of aerial activity in the Wenatchee Valley here recently due to fires that have sprung up. And of course, also due to a search for a certain individual here in the mountains of north central Washington.
Yeah.
They still have not found him. The 3-2 pitch on the way misses for ball 4. You know, I know that you had a batter there that has struggled at 174 batting average, but I kind of like that walk there where you try to get him to chase. You got 2 outs, you got a runner at second base, you got first base open. Now you got a force play all the way around.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about that is that was the bottom of the order. So you want to go after guys at the bottom of the order. You don't want to have some people on base for guys at the top of the order that are your better hitters, typically.
Pitch here swung on, a hit in the air, deep right field, and it is gone. Well, there you go. 3-run home run, and suddenly it's a 5-4 ball game.
Yeah.
Beltkowski lives up to his name with a belt over the right field wall, opposite way.
Once again, another home run hit to right field by a right-hander, which you don't see often at any level where guys are going home runs the opposite way, but this park right here is built for that.
So do you have stats on that particular swing?
Yeah, 95 exit velocity and 29.2 exit angle. So,
but the carry.
The carry. Distance? I better hurry up. Sorry.
It's okay.
355 feet 6 inches. It's amazing that it can go down to the inches.
I know.
Jeez.
All based on velocity and launch angle, right?
Yes.
It's science, kids. That's why you take Mr. Schmitten's math class at East Lawn High School.
But is this assuming it's in a vacuum where there is no air? Or is it assuming that, you know, because...
I don't know, can that TrackMan, can it track the baseball, honestly, all the way out to right field from behind home plate?
Yeah, I don't know. If it does, it's pretty phenomenal.
Hudson Shoup is up to the plate now. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game with a fly out to center and a single to center. 1-1 the count to him here with 2 outs, 3 runs in to make it a 5-4 ball game. And the pitch by Sandvik on the way is in there for a strike, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. First of a 3-game series, very important for the Apple Sox. The winner of the first half schedule automatically goes to the postseason.
Now, I was thinking about this yesterday. So,
pitch swung on a grounded to short. We'll have to get to your thought in the next half inning because Cade Martinez is able to retire the side, and a little roughing there on a 3-run home run by Tanner Beltkowski makes it a 5-4 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family, and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today, and let's find your happy place.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel, brought to you in part by Global Car Care. Your vehicle is their #1 priority. Diesels and European cars are their specialty. Pick up and drop off available too. Stop by their website at globalcarcare.net. Also by Harvest Valley Pest Control. Living healthy, local, and pest-free, you can rest assured Harvest Valley Pest Control uses kid and pet-safe material around your home or office. Call Harvest Valley Pest Control for your free estimate at 509-423-2207. That's 509-423-2207. Number 9, 1, and 2 due up for Mitch Darlington and the Apple Sox here in the 4th as they have their lead trimmed to 1. And the first pitch here to Davis Dorico is taken for a strike. 0-1 to count. Dorico got his first base hit as an Apple Sox, and it was also an RBI back in the second. And that 5-run second frame for Wenatchee. Pitch here way high. Evens the count to the ball on the strike.
And you can see why Shea Lake's numbers are what Shea Lake's numbers are. He's a formidable foe up there on the mound.
Yeah, he is. 1.42 earned run average coming into the game tonight. Had pitched in 6 1/3 coming into this. In relief of Andrew Carter.
Is he getting a pitch comm or? Well, no.
Or was that the hat just falling off right before he went to pitch?
Because
pitches.
Remember, we've talked about the pitch comm here, and I don't know that the.
I think they're using it because I see the catcher.
Yeah, he's not getting signed.
Jai Berezowski, and swinging a catch by the catcher here, so a strikeout for Lake. 1 out here in the 4th. Back to the top of the order for Jacob Croxford. And it looks like they are using a pitch comm because the catcher is, you see him, he'll put his glove over his right knee and then he reaches inside his right shin guard. So
you are right.
Tells me that he's got the pitch comm there. Much like our hero, Cal Raleigh. Pop up to the infield here, and second baseman over. Wind will play a factor here tonight, but nice job by Jake Butler centering underneath of that one. So 2 outs. And brings up Theo Kim. Kim is 1 for 2 tonight with a 2-run single in his last at bat.
How cool for Cal Raleigh to get named to the home run derby this year.
Second leading vote getter, or first leading vote getter for American League as a catcher. And you can still vote, by the way. You got to go to MLB.com for the final vote to get them into the All-Star game.
You know what I thought was really cool? I was watching a game the other night when they were playing in Minnesota, and you know, I'm sitting at home and I'm hearing all these people go MVP.
Yeah.
MVP.
In Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis.
In Target Field, yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that is very cool.
And
Mariners kind of, you know, we saw this with the Seahawks here over the last decade, you know, the Super Bowl run and everything else. This pitch swung on a grounded to the first baseman. Nice Ole play. Foul ball. Okay, I thought that was fair, but no, the umpires say foul, so strike one. But we've seen the Seahawks, you know, around the country. There are Seahawks fans everywhere, and they travel very well. And now we're seeing that with the Mariners. Ever since 3 years ago when they made the playoffs for the first time in 21 years, we're seeing more and more Mariner fans around the country.
Well, I have a friend of mine, coworker, played baseball for me, which is really cool. And then now he's a teacher and was a coach with me. He's at the game tonight down in Texas.
Oh, no kidding.
So, yeah, him and his aunt and wife and his wife, his aunt, and then his 2 kids are down at the game. They got a ball signed by Andres Munoz before the game.
Very nice. Oh, yeah, you showed me that picture.
Yeah.
Theo Kim hit by a pitch. That's the 3rd Apple Sox hitter hit by a pitch tonight. So 1 aboard and 2 down for the Apple Sox brings up Kyle Piñanabon. Kyle was one of those hit by a pitch earlier and hit into a fielder's choice to the 3rd baseman back in the 2nd.
Yeah, that ended up being a big play for them, going home on that one and getting the out there. That was the one that we had talked about.
2 outs, 1 aboard for the Apple Sox in a 5-4 ball game here against Victoria. Pitch on the way, swung on, popped up a mile high in the infield. And Munster, going to give way to the 2nd baseman, Butler, who that ball almost came out of his glove, by the way. Hop up to the 2nd baseman as the final out for the Apple Sox. So we'll head to the 5th. It is a tight one here. Don't go anywhere. 5-4, Wenatchee by 1. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
So Blake Sandvik continues on the mound for the Apple Sox as we head to the 5th frame here in Wenatchee. 5-4 ball game. Sox leading it by 1. Apple Sox baseball brought to you in part by Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Plan your next tournament tour event today. Call the Pro Shop. Schedule your tee time or get into the Full Swing S4 widescreen golf simulator. That way you don't hurt anybody. It's 509-884-4653. 509-884-4653. I'm not saying, that's about your game, but slices won't hurt anybody in the simulator.
That's right.
Logan Shepard leads it off here, and the first pitch by Sandvik misses high and away for a ball. 1-0 the count. If you're just joining us, Wenatchee scored 5 runs in the 2nd, brought 9 batters to the plate. Victoria countered with a run in the 3rd, and then a big 3-run home run by Tanner Belkowski in the 4th makes it a 1-run ball game. Swing and a miss there by Logan Shepard.
Yeah, that's been something that's kind of plagued us a little bit, scoring big in 1 inning and then kind of
cooling off.
Yeah, letting off the gas pedal. And
the 1-1 pitch on the way here is low for ball 2. We'll catch you up to date on the scoreboard. That's the far left tab there, sir. Might need to refresh it. Around the West Coast League, of course, all eyes on Bellingham and what's happening with the Bells. This pitch misses. Boy, that was a hefty fastball, but miss for ball 3.
They're ahead 8-1.
Okay.
8-1 in the 5th, bottom of 5.
All right, so Bellingham in Kamloops against the North Paws. This is their last game of the first half tonight. Pitch here, boy, that looked good. But ball 4, so a leadoff walk given up here by Sandvik to Shepard. That brings up Caden Munster.
That's Logan Shepard's 3rd walk of the game already.
Good eye.
Yeah.
And you want to be kind of careful with their best hitter.
Yeah.
Who Shepard is. Shepard with a lead at first now. Sandvik with a big deep breath. Right-hander will deliver to the plate. Pitch swung on a chop foul of the first baseline.
Yeah, you see where his first movement is his hand. So if he moves his hands first on this and you're a base runner,
kind of get your timing down, doesn't it?
Definitely. I was watching something the other day and I was talking about Alex Rodriguez and saying how he had tells of pitchers, and it had to do with their, like when they're going from the windup, how much of their palm was showing.
Pitch here swung on and hit in the air to left center, and left fielder Davis DeRico will come in and make the catch for the out.
How much of their palm was showing determined if it was going to be a fastball or off speed.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So we mentioned Bellingham on top of Kamloops, 8-1. That's in the bottom of the 5th inning. Other scores tonight, top of the 7th. Springfield leading at Marionberries, 1-0. It is Port Angeles at home tonight, leading Kelowna 7-3. That's in the bottom of the 6th. Edmonton at Nanaimo tonight, leading 2-1. That's in the bottom of the 6th. Pitch here called strike, 0-1 to count to Jack Johnson. Yakima Valley being shut out right now in the top of the 6th inning at Bend tonight, 1-0. Elks leading that one. Cowlitz leading at Corvallis, top of the 5th, 3-1. And Portland, how about the Pickles? They've lost 3 games all summer so far and are leading Ridgefield at home tonight by a score of 4-0.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Walla Walla actually took 2 of 3 this week from Portland.
But they've already clinched the South Division.
Yep. South first half goes to the Pickles. Pitch here swung on and hit hard in the air deep to right field. Right fielder going back. The ball's off the Pepsi sign out there. Runner rounding second will head to third on the stand-up double by Jack Johnson. We've had a few hard-hit balls here tonight at the ballpark. 2 home runs, 1 for either side. And now runners at second and third, so the tying run is 90 feet away for Connor Ross and Victoria. But first, Mitch Darlington going to make the change here on the mound. So we'll take a break and come back after a 60-second timeout. We'll tell you who's coming in from the bullpen as Wenatchee facing a sticky situation here in the top of the 5th. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey man, how's your arm?
Getting better, actually, thanks.
Did they give you anything for pain after surgery? Because I think I may have some left over.
Nah, that's all right, man. Actually, me and my doctor talked about not sharing prescriptions, and that ibuprofen's a good option for me. The risk of addiction, it's not worth it.
Makes sense.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions, and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Carson Bolzel now takes over for the Apple Sox junior out of Georgia Gwinnett College. Of course, originally from Okanagan, a 6'5", 210-pound junior. Numbers on the season, Brandon?
He's got 13.1 innings pitched, only given up 8 hits in those, 2 runs, 4 base on balls, and crazy, 14 strikeouts, and with a 1.35 ERA. So he's been doing very well for the Apple Sox this year, and looks like he's coming in awful high off of, which is a totally different arm slot than what Sandvik was, coming straight up over the top. And
which talk about that from a hitter's perspective. When you got 2 guys back to back like that, how hard is that?
Yeah, well, especially, you know, if you go a guy that's straight over the top, it's a little bit easier to hit. But with him being, how tall is he? 6'5", so his ball is going to be dropping vertically quite a bit, where Sandvik is going to be coming from the side a lot, so it's going to be moving from your backside to the middle of the plate if you're a right-handed hitter. So both of them have their advantages. Me personally, being 5'10", I would much rather see some movement going left to right, but I've never lived in the 6'5" shoes, so I couldn't.
I was on Facebook the other day. One of the advertisements came up, and it was for some shirts. And the 2 pictures they had, they listed tall and extra tall. So now I know the difference between tall and extra tall, at least as far as this commercial is concerned, because they had the heights, the measurements. They said tall is 6 foot to 6'2",
Okay.
6'3" and over is extra tall.
There you go.
There you go. So now I know. 0-1 the count here to Connor Ross, first batter to face Carson Bozel on the mound for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Right-hander looking in for the sign from Caden Smith. Still looking in for the sign. Runners at second and third for Victoria, and 1 out in the inning. Pitch swung on a miss, and he was behind that pitch. Count goes to 0-2.
Which is odd because that was an off-speed pitch. So
he was, I guess, just late.
Yeah,
just late.
Late to it. Yeah.
So Shepard at third base, Johnson at second base, in a 5-4 ball game. Bozel's pitch swung on and hit in the air, and this is going to be caught by the center fielder. Now the runner from third will tag. The throw is cut off at second base. Game is tied 5-5 on the sacrifice fly by Connor Ross.
I like that thought process there by our center fielder going to second base on that. See if we can't get a back pick before the run scores there too. So that was smart.
So Jack Johnson stays at second base on the play. 2 outs now in the inning for Victoria, and that brings up Jacob Doyle. Doyle 0 for 2 with a ground out to second and a strikeout swinging. First pitch by Bozel on the way to the plate here, swing and a miss.
Way behind that one, wasn't he? 93-mile-an-hour fastball there?
Yeah. High cheese. You're around the kids today. You've got a youngster playing baseball yourself.
Well, he did this year. Yeah, he's done now, though.
So, but you know the nomenclature. So are they still calling it high cheese? What are they calling it?
They call it gas. They call it velo.
This pitch swung on a grounded and through for a base hit. Here comes the throw home, and it is too late. Runner from first will go to second on the throw. Meanwhile, this throw down by the catcher, not in time, as it scampers away from the second baseman. So Victoria 2 runs in, and they take the lead on the RBI single by Jacob Doyle.
Yeah, they've got lots of nicknames for fastballs. My favorite one is when a guy swings and misses, and they say, "Are you down at the Bayou?" Going down to the Bayou Classic.
Pitch bunt up the third baseline is going to stay fair, and that is an absolutely gorgeous bunt by Jake Butler.
Great bunt.
So a bunt single up the third baseline moves Doyle to third base. And yeah, good baseball right there.
Yep. Third baseman's playing back in that situation because there's 2 outs and
runner at second
might as well
base.
take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always like doing that. It's not too common, but I loved doing that as a left-handed hitter when there was a runner at third base with 2 outs. You know, because nobody's going to bunt.
The third baseman has to play near the bag.
Yeah,
with a runner at third.
Well, and typically they're going to play back a little bit with 2 outs, right?
Right.
So you drop one down the third baseline. If you're any good at it, you practice it, you can get it down the third baseline, you get an RBI out of the thing, and you get a base hit. So that was one thing that I always liked to do personally in college. Well,
Berezowski thought he was hit there on that pitch. Home plate umpire says, no, you weren't. Get back in there. Count evens to Berezowski at 1-1. The catcher back in the batter's box, and the pitch by Bozel is a little bit high for a ball. 2-1.
That looked pretty good to me. Again, he's been liking that upper pitch, hasn't he?
Yes. 2 runs in the inning. Victoria now on top 6-5. This pitch in there for a called strike. The count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, there was a Bozel that played for the Apple Sox way back in the day. Bryce Bozel.
Bryce, and I think he had a brother named Cade, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
2-2 the count here.
That was with the Gebbers brothers.
That's right. Carson Bozel. Pitch on the way, runner goes. Pitch swung on a miss. So Bozel gets the final out, but not before. A couple of runs come home to score, and Victoria takes a lead 6-5. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Long way to go with this one. You're watching Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel, brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group. They're more than selling houses, they're building communities. Buying or selling, call Kennedy Real Estate Group. They're online at kennedygroup.com. That's KENADY group.com. Also by Les Schwab. Having the right set of tires and wheels on your vehicle is just part of essential safety. Les Schwab takes your safety seriously. Stop by today. Along with Brandon Schmidt and Eric Granstrom with you. A back and forth ball game as the Apple Sox scored the first 5, but then it's been all victorious since then. They scored a run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, a run, make that 2 runs in the 5th, take the lead now 6-5 over Wenatchee. So the Apple Sox will send the middle part of the order up here in the 5th inning. Ethan Thomas, Jake Sanko, and Cade Martinez due up. Pitch on the way here is a fastball low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. And do we have Shea Lake still? Yes,
we do, yeah.
So Shea Lake has done a good job in relief here for the Harbor Cats.
Oh,
It's been swung on and hit hard down the left field line. Will hit fair and go all the way to the wall, rounding first and heading for second, jogging in with a stand-up double, Ethan Thomas.
You like to see that out of your number 4 hitter, especially to start off an inning after we gave up a couple. Get us going again. Bring us back to Jake Sanko, who's
there we go. Got a big home run to left, speaking of left field, with the wind blowing out to right here. Jake is 1 for 2. He flew out to left in the 3rd.
Mariners going to the 11th.
6-6 now?
6-6, yeah, they got out of a bases loaded jam there.
Runners in on the corners expecting a bunt, and he will put the bunt down. And will come up the third baseline. The third baseman throws, and a nice job by the second baseman, Jake Butler, to dig out that low throw from Jack Johnson. Meanwhile, down to third goes Ethan Thomas, so a sacrifice bunts. 5-4,
you're right.
So
5-4.
1 out here in the 5th inning. Runner at third base, Cade Martinez will step up, try to tie this game back up for the Apple Sox. Cade got aboard on an error and scored in the 2nd and walked in his last at bat in the 3rd. Pitch to him here by Shea Lake, swung on a fly ball to the outfield, and left fielder back it up, finally makes the catch. And an easy tag and score by Ethan Thomas, so we're tied at 6-6 on the sacrifice fly RBI by Cade Martinez.
You know what I liked about that right there was, well, one, Cade got the job done. He knew what he had to do. But Ethan Thomas wasn't trying to be too quick. He waited until the ball was officially caught. Wasn't going to try and leave early and get taken a run off the board because he left too early there.
Gunnar Pinskover steps up now for the Apple Sox. He'll take the first pitch in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. The crowd not happy about that. We've had the Boo Birds out tonight quite a bit.
We have, yes.
We've got about another 65 umpires in the crowd here tonight. This pitch fouled away, and the count 0-2. So tied up at 6. Speaking of which, Mariners and Texas Rangers tied at 6 in the 11th.
Tied at 6.
Seems the Mariners have had a lot of extra inning games this year.
They have.
0-2 pitch from Shea Lake, misses for a ball. 1-2 the count. Did I smell some? I thought I smelled some kettle corn. Did you smell that earlier? I love me some kettle corn.
Oh, that's got to be the best food that there is. Sweet, salty.
My goodness.
Oh, man.
1-2 pitch, swung on and foul back. On the weekend camping trip last weekend up to Concanelli, somebody had a bag of, it was cheddar cheese popcorn and caramel popcorn all in the same bag.
Costco.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I hadn't had that before. I was like,
that's
oh,
really good.
mamacito. Pitch here, swung on. Look out.
It's the white bag with the blue writing on it. Oh yeah, I've had that many a times.
Oh, goodness. I was like, I really don't like the fact you introduced this. Because I'm sure it's really, really good for me.
Yes.
1-2 count with 2 outs and 1 in for Penscover. And
no, he didn't go.
Umpire check with each other. No strike. And this game's getting a little spicy here.
It is. Yeah.
Got both dugouts.
Well, their coaches have been out and had conversations with this first base umpire multiple times already.
2-2 count to Penscover here. And the pitch on the way to the plate is low for ball 3. And you can really hear the Apple Sox dugout below us.
I love it.
They're making a lot of racket. Tie game, 6-6, bottom of the 5th inning. And the 3-2 pitch on the way to the plate bounces in for ball 4.
This is the fun of baseball, right? Where you get to talk back and forth, and it's all fun until something gets personal, and then that's where
then it's no longer fun.
No,
that's where you get the hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So Caden Smith now steps up, trying to get his first hits as an Apple Sox.
Somebody named Alice?
First pitch here is in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. Sometimes the players feed off the fans, and sometimes the fans feed off the players.
Yes.
0-1 pitch or 0-1 count to Caden Smith here. It was hit by a pitch and scored in that 5-run second. Struck out looking his last plate appearance. The 0-1 pitch, runner from first goes. The pitch is low. The throw down to second base, not in time. So give a stolen base to Gunnar Penscover.
Mariners scored a run. Miles Mastroboni, little single to left center, scored Randy Arozarena.
Miles Mastroboni, the guy yesterday who got the Mariners' only RBI and finished the game on the mound. You never want a position player to finish a game on the mound. That means you're either up by a lot or you're behind by a lot, and that was the case for the Mariners last night. This pitch misses low for a ball. 2-1 the count here to Caden Smith with a runner in scoring position. And by the way, Penscover represents the go-ahead run for the Apple Sox. Pitch on the way, low for ball 3.
Got in Shea's head a little bit, I think. Hey, that's if that's what it takes for you to be a little bit chirpy, hopefully towards your own guys, and it gets their pitcher rattled. Then
3-1 to count to Caden Smith with 2 outs, 1 in, 1 aboard, and the pitch on the way is ball 4 inside. So a smattering of applause from our crowd here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. And runners at first and second for Davis Dorico, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Got his first base hit as an Apple Sox back in the second. Drove home a run in the process, eventually came around to score. He struck out swinging at his last plate appearance in the 4th. So 1 for 2 night for the Sox left fielder. And the pitch to him here, swung on and hit foul down the right field line towards the bullpen area for Victoria. Has a couple of bodies down there. Right-hander warming up. Probably going to be the night here for Shea Lake.
He's done a really good job.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Came into the second in relief, has been there ever since, and up until this inning, shut the Apple Sox down.
Same move that he picked us off in the second inning.
Yep. Crossover step. And
we called that the spaghetti move or the Dodger move. I don't know where the Dodger move came from, but it's widely known to be the Dodger move.
Pitch here is in the dirt, got away from the catcher, so down to third, down to second and third go the runners on a wild pitch.
Once again, a great play by their catcher there to go backdoor on that to second base, because Ethan was going in thinking, I've got this thing in the bag, and it was a little bit closer than what I think all of us would have liked.
So Dorico, a chance to bring in a couple here if he can hit it to the outfield safely. Pitch on the way to him is a little bit.
Catcher's not really approving of that call.
Nope. 2-1 to count to Dorico. Penscover at third base, Smith at second base for the Apple Sox in a 6-6 tie. Pitch on the way is low for a ball.
Now you can see here that Shea's starting to get a little bit frustrated, and he tried to overthrow there a little bit. And
looks like they do have a right-hander that's warmed up down to the bullpen for Victoria. If Dorico loses, or if Lake loses Dorico here, it's a 3-1 count. Pitch on the way, check swing, he didn't go, ball 4. Back-to-back walks has loaded up the bases for the Apple Sox. Let's look towards the dugouts on the first base side, and it looks like they're going to make a pitching change here, as we will take a break and come back after a 60-second timeout. Sacks are full of Sox in a 6-6 game. We're back after this on the NCWLIFE channel.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
New pitcher on the mound here for the Victoria Harbor Cats is whom?
I believe it's Robert Sanford. Can't see his number. Didn't see his number when he was coming in. 18, yeah, Robert Sanford.
Okay, Robert Sanford is a 6'1", 195-pound sophomore out of Paris, JC, from Carrollton, Texas. Right-hander will take over.
9.2 innings, giving up 11 hits, and let's see here, what's the stat? 8 runs in those 9.2 innings to give him an ERA of a 7.44. So hopefully we can tack on a couple right here.
That would be golden for the Apple Sox. This is all coming with 2 outs, by the way. A double to start the inning by Ethan Thomas. They moved him over to third on a sac bunt, and then a sacrifice fly by Cade Martinez. Kind of baseball you love.
Oh, right? I love it, yeah. Because one, it shows that these guys are not selfish towards themselves. They want to win. They know the joy of winning a game, and so they give up 2 of their precious at-bats that they get throughout this summer, to go ahead and get a sacrifice bunt and then get a sacrifice fly. But that just shows you the character that Mitch is instilling in these guys. It's about the team, not about individuals. So
kind of microcosm representation of North Central Washington.
That's right.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. You like that?
I like that. Ooh, that was good. Microcosm. That's like a lot of syllables there.
Jacob Croxford now steps up for the Apple Sox with the bases juiced. 2 outs. Sticky situation for Robert Sanford. Now in relief, third pitcher of the night for Victoria. Apple Sox fans are looking for more. 1 run is in. Tie game 6-6. Right-hander looks in for the sign from John Berezowski. And the first pitch on the way to the plate is all the way to the backstop, but it bounced all the way back past the plate to the pitcher covering.
Yeah, that's what you talked about. Short backstop here. And, you know, it's padded back there, but it bounces pretty hard off.
Yeah, that's a new pad that they put in right before the Apple Sox season here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, which is the home to Wenatchee Valley College, of course. 1-0 count to Croxford. And the pitch on the way is low again. And Robert Sanford right now looks like he's a little tight.
He does, yeah. And this was something I was seeing out of him when he was throwing his warm-up pitches. He had a couple balls that bounced away and had to get replenished by the umpire.
If you're Croxford, you have to just wait for him to throw a strike, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And another pitch low for ball 3.
Yeah.
And suddenly Sanford is a pitch away from giving up the lead here.
You can see Mitch down here giving a pretty obvious signal of you better take a pitch right here. He has not thrown a strike. He did not throw well in warm-ups. Take a pitch.
Here comes the 3-0 pitch after a deep breath by Sanford, and it is outside for ball 4. The Apple Sox take the lead 7-6.
I like that. Now, if I was Mitch right here, I would be giving Theo Kim a take call as well. He hasn't thrown a strike yet. We've got a little bit of room here where Theo's a good hitter. He's throwing 4 straight balls. So
that's 4 walks in a row, by the way,
is.
between Shea Lake and Robert Sanford. So Theo Kim takes the first pitch, and it's outside for ball 1.
Yep.
5 straight pitches out of the strike zone by Robert Sanford, and another right-hander warming up behind him for Victoria. Good way for the Apple Sox to start this series is to burn through a bunch of their arms. Pitch on the way is a strike call.
It's all right, we'll take that.
And the count even now to Kim at 1-1 strike.
Crossed up the catcher there, didn't it?
Yeah, he did. And the catcher's going to come out and talk to the pitcher.
Well, when they had their conversation earlier, it was about a 1.5-minute conversation about here's what I throw. And I don't know that, how many pitches does the guy have? Like 22 pitches?
It was interesting that the umpire came out with the catcher for that conversation.
Well, the reason he did is because, remember, it's mound visits. Okay. They have the certain number of mound visits, and that did not count as one because it was for cross-up on the pitches.
1-1 pitch is in there for a strike. It looked a little low to us here, clear over on top of the third base dugout. So what do we know?
Yeah.
But the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Theo Kim. Kim back in the left-handed batter's box, and boy, he was all the way in the back of that batter's box.
He is.
The pitch by Sanford is low. That looked like the same pitch.
That, I was going to say the exact same thing. He's throwing 92 miles an hour here, so Robert Sanford's got a little bit of a zip.
Some juice.
Yeah.
Runner at third is Smith. DeRico at second. Croxford at first. 2 in. Sox on top by 1. Pitch on the way to the plate is swung on and hit foul off of the foot of Theo Kim, and that hurts.
You know, that reminds me, he's got a pad on his foot, so it shouldn't hurt that bad. But I remember, like, going up to a catcher and like, hey, can I throw a ball against your chest? He's like, no. I go, you've got a pad on there. He goes, it still hurts.
2-2 count here to Theo Kim. Trying to keep the inning going for the Apple Sox in a rally back after they gave up the lead earlier this inning. Pitch on the way to the plate is low. Strike called. Strike 3 gone looking as Theo Kim. And that's an arguable pitch as well. But the Apple Sox do get 2 runs. They lead 3. We'll head to the 6th. Sox on top 7-6. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Tacos Chava has something new. Customers at Tacos Chava say it's the best Mexican food around. Nachos, enchiladas, tortas, ensaladas, and introducing camarones in many styles. You'll love the fresh salsa bar with so much selection. Are you ready for Tacos Chava? Find them at 2 great locations, the Wenatchee Valley Mall and Eniac. Tacos Chava, tan delicioso.
A new video game, a movie, dinner with friends. There are a lot of things worth saving up for.
Vapes aren't cheap, and buying pods over and over can stop you from affording things you want more. When it comes to your money, choose what matters. Choose you.
When life gets stressful, jumping into your passions can help you find your calm. Avoid vapes, which contain nicotine and can make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. When it comes to your mental health, choose what matters. Choose you.
Back we are here to the ballpark as our broadcast brought to you in part by Sangster Motors, family owned and operated, home of the all-new electric Hummer pickup and SUV. Also by Save Mart, shop smart, shop local, serving the Wenatchee Valley since 1962. Top of the order for Victoria coming up here in the 6th. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. Tanner Beltkowski, followed by Hudson Shoup and Logan Shepard to face Carson Bozel in his second inning of relief. Good news for Mariner fans. I'll let you give the honors.
7-6 win in 12 innings.
12
so what a great game for my friend to be at down there.
No kidding. Yeah. And I'm sure they stayed till the very end as well.
He is a diehard Mariner fan, so he definitely would not leave early.
First pitch misses high to Beltkowski, who has a home run tonight, a 3-run shot opposite way right field back in the 4th.
And the cool thing, before the game, they were there early, and Andres Munoz signed the ball and gave it to my friend's daughter.
That is huge.
Yeah, super cool.
First of all, to get a Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, how awesome is that?
Yes.
And then to have a player autograph it and hand it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
1-1 the count here to Beltkowski. Excuse me. Yeah, 1-1. Yep. Pitch on the way by Bozel. Off speed in there for a strike, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, you were talking about Cal Raleigh if he had a home run tonight. He didn't. He had a double. But his performance that he's had this first half of the year is incredible.
And I love the fact that he's getting his due.
Yes.
Nationally by the media.
Yeah.
And by sports media. I mean, you know, forever Seattle and the Mariners have been, I mean, we're South Alaska.
Right.
As far as the national media is concerned. And Cal Raleigh is being recognized for what he's doing. And not only for what he's doing home run-wise with 32 still, right?
Yeah.
His batting average is ridiculous.
271.
His RBIs, he's still leading the league in the RBI category. But he's a full-time catcher doing that.
And he's – so this is something I didn't even realize there was, which is kind of bad, but there's –
strike 3 called. Gone looking is Beltkowski as he gives a sideways look at our home plate umpire on his way back to the dugout. Hudson Shoup now steps up with 1 down here in the 6th.
Most people know the term Gold Glove winner, which is the best.
I didn't know about that either until this year.
Yeah, the best fielder in that position. So Cal Raleigh won
the Gold Glove
winner
this past year.
But he also won what was called the Platinum Glove, and I had never heard of the Platinum Glove, which again, that's a bad thing. But the Platinum Glove is the best defender of any defender in any position on any team in the major leagues.
Ridiculous to go to a catcher.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows how good this guy is. And that's before, by the way, that's last year.
Right.
That's before he signed the multi-year contract to stay in Seattle.
Not very big one either, right?
No.
A small one, so he could keep some pitchers here.
Absolutely.
So what an admirable guy that is.
1-1 the count here to Hudson Shoup with 1 down in the 6th for Victoria. Pitch swung on and fouled away. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, I like it too. He's in the home run derby this year, and he has his dad throwing to him, and his 15-year-old brother is going to catch.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
You know, Bryce Harper.
But that just shows you, too, because Cal is, what, 23, 24? I mean, he's not that old.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is. I mean, I look at him as an old man.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, because
he's been around a while.
He's just such a pro.
Yeah.
Pitch here misses high for ball 2. 2-2 the count to Hudson Shoup.
Bryce Harper had his dad throw to him during the year when he won the home run championship. So how cool would that be for Cal to do it?
Pitch on the way, swung on and grounded to second base, fumbling the ball, but picking it up and throwing in time. Nice job of staying with it by Theo Kim 4-3 on the putout. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Brings up Logan Shepard. The Apple Sox defensively could use a 1-2-3 inning here. They haven't had one so far tonight.
Yeah, we faced a lot of batters and throwing a lot of pitches.
That's what I was just going to say. A lot of pitches here in this ball game for everybody involved. David Barnes started it. He went 2 innings, gave up, no runs, 1 hit, couple of, make that 3 strikeouts, couple of walks.
That was a nice pitch right there.
Oh, my. The crowd here at Paul Thomas. Surly. They're surly.
Well, he just threw a fastball on the last at-bat at 94 and then threw a 79 mile an hour.
Oh, Lord. 1-0 pitch to Shepard here is high and inside for a ball. Logan, as you mentioned earlier, has walked 3 times tonight.
Yeah.
And again, he's ahead of a Wenatchee pitcher. 2-0 the count here to Shepard.
That's not something typically you see out of a 3-hitter, right? They're going to be a little bit more aggressive because they swing with a little bit more power, but he is very, very patient. He's saw 5 pitches his first at-bat, 5 pitches his second at-bat.
6 pitches his last at-bat.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's just doing a really good job of seeing pitches, and obviously our pitchers are throwing around him.
Right. Best hitter in their lineup. Batting .311 coming into the game tonight. 2-2 the count here to him from Carson Bozel, trying to make it a 1-2-3 frame in the 6th inning. That would bode well for the Apple Sox. Pitch on the way is going all the way to the backstop, missing for ball 3.
Didn't hear any arguments about that being a strike.
No. In fact, the folks in the front row are picking up their teeth right now after dropping their dentures on that one. That was close.
You know, I look out here at this field and I just see, I'm still so impressed with this turf that we have in the foul territory and then the grass.
Absolutely.
What a great transition it made from last year, because last year, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but it was almost embarrassing.
It was.
Now it's beautiful.
And then also just them cutting down the infield and redoing the infield here.
Yep.
I mean, it is flat as a pancake, which
and
is what you want it to be.
Yeah, and you can see in the outfield grass they went about 15, 20 feet back there too.
Swing and a miss, and how about the inning here for Carson Bozel as he strikes out one of the toughest guys in the West Coast League to go 1-2-3 in the 6th. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Wenatchee on top, 7-6. You're watching Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the PNW for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition. Here's a good-looking pizza, guaranteed to bring some summer smiles. And right now, it's on sale, so it's good for your wallet too. This giant is loaded with toppings and can feed up to 6 people. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. It's the summer of good, only at Abby's Legendary Pizza.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Kyle Pignanabon, Ethan Thomas, and Jake Sanko do appear in the 6th inning for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. We've got a back-and-forth ball game here tonight as Wenatchee scored 5 runs in the 2nd inning. A big 2-run single by Theo Kim and a leadoff home run by Jake Sanko in that inning. The big hits for the Apple Sox. Victoria countered with a run in the 3rd. It seemed kind of innocuous at first with just a sacrifice fly for an RBI by Caden Munster to score their first run. But then trouble on the 4th inning as the Harbor Cats got a couple aboard on an error and a walk, and then a 3-run home run by Tanner Beltkowski made it a 1-run ball game. They would take the lead with 2 runs in the 5th. Apple Sox would counter back with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. So back and forth we go. 7-6 our score here as Pignanabon steps in the right-handed batter's box and is ahead of the count 1-0.
Yeah, that was really good for us to get those 2 runs last inning to battle back there.
You like to see that immediate response. I mean,
Yes.
even if it's not a give up the lead, take the lead situation, if you just counter.
Right. And for us to get the one and then be so patient.
Pitch here swung on and hit the air to right field. Right fielder is screwed up by that one. It goes all the way over his head, out to the wall, and a stand-up double to lead it off for Kyle Piñanamon.
That ball was hit well, and like you've mentioned many times that it's difficult for players, again, this being the first game of the series, for players in the outfield to read balls at this ballpark. So if I look back behind us, it's a baby blue, and I'm saying the babiest of baby blue out there. So awful white sky right now.
Yeah, it's very tough, especially for that right fielder in the right side of the infield for balls that go in the air, to be able to see those off the bat. So a leadoff double by Piñanamon, and here's Ethan Thomas, who did the same thing in the last inning. He'll take the first pitch here for a ball. 1-0 the count to Thomas.
Umpire almost looked like he wanted to call that a strike, didn't he?
The crowd certainly was already yelling at him for calling it a strike, but he holds back. 1-0 count to Thomas, who is 1 for 3 tonight with that double. He scored a run to tie the game. Pitch on the way to him here is in there for a strike, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. But Piñanamon's got some wheels out there. We've seen him so far this season for the Apple Sox. Well, in fact, wasn't it last time we were here that Piñanamon was making his debut? We're talking about debuts.
I think it was two games
was it
ago.
2 games ago?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get his name right.
Yeah.
Pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back, and a count to ball and 2 strikes here to Ethan Thomas.
I'm sure he's had the nickname for a while.
KP.
But KP,
Yeah. Our broadcast here on the NCWLIFE channel brought to you by Tacos Chava. You love Tacos Chava in East Wenatchee. Let them cater your next event. In fact, I just saw their trailer going around today. Find them on Facebook by looking up Tacos Chava East Wenatchee. That's C-H-A-V-A, by the way, for Tacos Chava. 1-2 the count to Thomas. He'll take ball 2. 2-2. I'm trying to see what you're pointing out here.
Oh, just if you wanted to go around, you always like to do that. And
yeah,
keep
can you do
people
that? I
informed.
got my bifocals on.
Yeah.
That bottom bifocal does nothing for me. So
Edmonton over Naima right now at 6-5.
Nanaimo.
What'd I say?
You said Nanaimo.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a Nanaimo bar?
No.
Oh,
is it like a Klondike bar?
No.
Oh.
You need to have a Nanaimo bar.
Okay.
They're
Nanaimo.
chocolate, good stuff. Like
Really?
a candy bar.
Huh.
Yeah.
All
good
right.
stuff.
So Nanaimo is trailing 6-5 in the top of the 8th inning to Edmonton. Port Angeles is 8-3 over Kelowna. That was final.
Pitch here swung on and hit to the air to right field. It's going to drop in for a base hit, score another run. Apple Sox are going to lead it here by 2 on the RBI single to right by Ethan Thomas. Good piece of hitting right there.
Bellingham, unfortunately, they're ahead. I say unfortunately for the sake of the Apple Sox, or unfortunately ahead 8-2 over Kamloops in the top of the 7th. And then what else we got here? Portland Pickles again leading Ridgefield. The Raptors 5-3. Corvallis Knights over the Cowlitz Black Bears 4-3 in the top of 6.
We are in the bottom of the 6th here. Wenatchee with another run in and leading it now 8-6.
Here's a good one here. The Springfield Drifters are tied with the Marionberries in the bottom of 10.
Ooh, wow. Pitch here misses outside to Jake Stanko, so the count goes to 2-0 on Jake. Victoria does have a right-hander warmed up down in the bullpen. He's just playing soft toss right now. Behind Robert Sanford, working his 2nd inning of relief here for the Harbor Cats. Pitch on the way is in there for a strike. Count goes 2-1 on Sanko. Jake 1 for 2 tonight with a solo home run to left. He flew out to right and had a beautiful sacrifice bunt up the 3rd baseline back in the 5th.
Yeah, we've seen 2 bunts be performed very well tonight. Both of them up the 3rd baseline.
Yep.
And one that stopped perfectly for a base hit, and then Jake's beautiful sacrifice bunt there too.
Pitch on the way here is a fastball. Boy, that had some get up and go to it, but misses outside for a ball. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, that was his fastest pitch that we've seen, I think, 91.
Nobody out here, bottom of the 6th inning. 1 run in for the Apple Sox. Pitch here is taken for a strike. Count runs full, and what you do with every single pitch you face, good, bad, or indifferent, is you wear the arm down even further of reliever Robert Sanford.
Yeah.
Right-hander ready, and the runner from first goes. Pitch swung on and chopped foul. Ouch, off the foot again. And I always make this example for folks. If you've never played baseball, you never hit a ball off your own toe. It's like if you go in your bedroom and you pick up your corner of your bed as high as you can and drop the corner bedpost onto your foot.
While somebody's jumping on the bed.
Yeah, while somebody's jumping on the bed, right.
Yeah, I have, literally I have a bump on my leg that is
from
like
a ball.
From a ball from when I was a sophomore in high school.
Runner from first goes again. This pitch high and inside. Look out, Jake Senko. He'll spin away from that one and take the walk. So runners at first and second for Wenatchee. Brings up Cade Martinez, and we'll look towards the dugout area. It looks like we're going to get a pitching change. We will. We'll take a 60-second break and come back with the Apple Sox on top 8-6 and threatening to add more here in the 6th. We're back after this on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Here we go. Well, taking over on the mound now for the Victoria Harbor Cats is Garrett Villa. He's a 5'10", 160-pound junior out of Angelo State. He is a Texan, a Houston Texan. And I'm sure he's got that drawl to go with it. And we'll see how he throws here in relief. The fourth pitcher of the night for the Victoria Harbor Cats. Not the way they wanted to negotiate their way through this opening game of the series, I'm sure. But you're left with trying to get outs when you trail the game by 2, and the Apple Sox with a run in and 2 aboard and nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
He's definitely a spot performer. Just comes in for little bits of time. He's been in 4 games and only thrown 3.2 innings. But for him, he's got 0 ERA, so looks like he comes in and does the job. Giving up 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts.
Are you watching how he throws? His left foot is facing towards second base as he works from the stretch. Watch this.
His front foot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the odd thing here is he's only pitched 3.2 innings, and he has 1 win and 1 loss.
Wow. Okay.
That's
yeah.
I could see where you could get a couple losses in 3.2 innings, but a win.
Yeah. Well,
so
you come in a situation like this, and you get the final 3 outs, and then your team comes back and scores runs.
Yep. Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Cade Martinez steps up now for the Apple Sox. Nobody out, runners at first and second base, and expecting a bunt here. Cade squares to bunt, and the pitch by Villa. He'll take it, and it's low for ball 1.
We talked about spin rate earlier. His spin rate on that pitch right there, it looked to me like that was a fastball. 2,445, which is really high.
Yeah, that's one of the highest spin rates we've had here tonight. 1-0 counts, and again, Martinez will put the bunt down. The pitcher off the mound will field and throw to first base, and a nice sac bunt for the Apple Sox. That's 3 sacrifices here tonight for Wenatchee.
Yeah.
That is a Mitch Darlington team, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So was that 1-4 or 1-3 on the put-up?
Would have been a 1-4.
Okay. So down to third base goes Ethan Thomas. Excuse me. 1 out in the inning. Runners at second and third. The first pitch here misses to Gunnar Penskover. Gunnar, base hit tonight, has scored twice, has popped out to the shortstop and walked in the 5th. Chance to give Wenatchee even more breathing room as he'll take this next pitch on the strike. 1-1 the count to Gunnar Penskover.
The wind's starting to die down a little bit, thankfully.
You said that in your outside voice?
I know.
That's like saying the game is going quickly. 1-1 pitch here.
Malcolm agrees, right?
Malcolm agrees. Now, Malcolm back in our studio is, after a long week, is ready to be done. And we thank Mr. Malcolm Whitehall for all he does for us at the NCWLIFE channel. 2-1 the count to Penskover here. Pitch on the way is taken for a strike. Evens the count at 2-2. And we've seen this throughout the game tonight, Brandon, that Wenatchee's been very patient offensively.
Yeah, and I really like that. And
they're seeing a lot of pitches.
You say that, and we've the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hitters have seen first pitch ball.
Strike 3 called. Gone looking is Penskover for the second out, and that is going to draw even further ire from our crowd here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Well, the Apple Sox were able to get a run pushed across with 2 outs last inning. Can they do it again here this side? Runners at second and third. Caden Smith now steps up. Smith walked back in the 5th. He's 0 for 1 officially tonight. Was hit by a pitch and scored a run as well. First pitch to him here, he'll take for a ball. Now that looked closer than the last pitch. At least from our perspective,
yes.
On top of the third base dugout, we're looking from behind the batters. So
it's like Bob Euchre yelling at an umpire from the third level.
He missed the tag. He missed the tag. Pitcher misses away for ball 2.
That guy was hilarious.
He certainly was. If you have never seen it, I highly encourage you to go to YouTube and just do a search for Bob Euchre Hall of Fame induction speech. You will get all of Bob Euchre's best in that about 5 minutes talk. This pitch swung on a foul away, and the count goes to 2-1.
My son and I went to Milwaukee with a friend of mine and went and watched Brewers game there, and we got to sit in the infamous Bob Euchre chair.
Oh,
or
you
sit
did?
next to Bob Euchre,
Okay.
I guess, because there's a little
right.
statue of him in a chair, and we sat
Way
right next
up
to him.
in the third level?
Way up there.
Yeah.
That beverage commercial, I'll leave it at that, that he said, oh, I must be in the front row, and they took him up to the very top.
2-1 pitch on the way here, swung on and hit foul. Count evens now to Caden Smith. 2 balls.
2,640 spin rate, RPM.
Holy buckets.
Yeah. That's like 700 more than what most pitchers that we're seeing tonight. So he's obviously, I don't know how, I was never introduced to the spin rate when I was pitching or even knew how to create it as a coach, because it came in after I stopped being the head coach. But they have a way to introduce more spin rate on it. I don't know what exactly it is that they do, but obviously this kid has gone to something that has helped him improve that spin rate.
So we had a little more of a discussion here between an umpire and the Victoria coaching staff.
Third or fourth conversation.
Yeah, that's the first one. A little arguing about balls and strikes.
Yeah.
And from our perspective, that did look like strike 3. 3-2 pitch on the way, swung on and hit into the outfield. Going to score 2 for the Apple Sox. They lead it 10-6. How about the hitting stroke of Caden Smith? His first hit as an Apple Sox.
Yeah, I like to see that. That was a very well hit ball to the opposite side too. So that's when you know you're hitting well. And I know it's his first hit, but that's when you know you're hitting well, is when you can hit a ball hard the other way. He did a really good job with that.
And he saw it.
He did. And that was a full count too, so we had runners running, and good job.
Well, we saw that earlier for the Apple Sox when Victoria got their 3-run home run on a play at first base that was a close play. It originally called an out, and then conversation between the umpires, and then it was overruled. He's safe. And that runner eventually came around as part of that 3-run home run to right field. So we saw that be an overturn that made a big difference in a disagreement with our umpires tonight. Now we see a situation where the Victoria staff thought it was strike 3. It's not. Base hits, next pitch, and
that was close.
Ooh, another close play at the bag at first, and according to the base umpire, is safe. And this is what's interesting, too, about these disagreements that continue to go on here between Victoria and our umpiring crew tonight. This is the crew they have for the next 2 games.
Yes. It's not very advantageous for you to argue with an umpire if you're going to see him the next 2 days.
Davis DeRico at the plate, by the way, for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. 0-1. The pitch here misses outside for a ball. 1-1 the count.
Which I've always wondered because I never see these umpires outside of umpiring in this league. So where are these gentlemen from?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. We're not meant to know. The 1-1 pitch.
Their street address is.
Ooh, how about the hands there of Mitch Darlington? Grin on his face as he's getting it from the home crowd and his own dugout. Ball and 2 strikes here to DeRico. Apple Sox opened up a little more breathing room here with 3 runs in the 6th. And the pitch on the way high for a ball. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, he's upwards of 2,600 RPMs. That is crazy.
On his spin rate.
Yeah.
I know if you've ever done a golf simulator and you hit balls, I know they have the spin rate there, and obviously you want a higher spin rate there as well.
Depends on what club you're using.
True.
Because if you got a driver, you want less, because then it doesn't slice or fade as much. But if you're around the greens, you want one with a little bit more spin rate, so that it will check up for you if you're good enough.
Yeah, that's not me. That's definitely not my game. Full count to DeRico here. Runner at first goes. The pitch is swung on and fouled into the glove of the catcher, and so that'll be it for the Apple Sox. But they do get 3 runs here in the 6th inning, and they lead it 10-6 now as we head to the 7th. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and 0 emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Our broadcast of Apple Sox baseball on the NCWLIFE channel brought to you in part by Together for Youth, encouraging you to dispose of unused and expired prescriptions to protect youth and the environment. Find a kiosk near you by visiting medproject.org. Also by Valley Tractor, North Central Washington's trusted equipment and rental dealer for 75 years. Caden Munster, Jack Johnson, and Connor Ross due up here in the 7th inning. We are not over in this one, but Wenatchee did get a little more breathing room with 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. As we head to the 7th, they lead at 10-6 now, and the first pitch here to Munster looked good, but it's ball 1. Caden Munster tonight for the Harbor Cats is 1 for 2. He had a base hit back of the first, a sac fly, and an RBI in the 3rd. And he flew out to left in the 5th. This pitch misses as well from Carson Bosel.
He's been doing a good job out of the bullpen here.
Carson in his 3rd inning of relief here for the Apple Sox. Don't see any activity in the bullpen behind him. Now with Wenatchee leading it by 4. And the first pitch here, or this next pitch, is a line drive out to left field to Davis DeRico.
Yeah, that ball was hit well.
It was. Allowed out from Munster brings up Jack Johnson. Johnson is 1 for 3 tonight, struck out in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd to the first baseman, and had a double and scored a run in the 5th. Wenatchee with 5 runs in the 2nd. Victoria a run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th to take the lead. Wenatchee came right back with 2 in the bottom of the 5th to take the lead back, and then added 3 more in the bottom of the 6th to lead it now 10-6. Jack Johnson takes the first pitch for a ball. Bosel ready, and pitch number 2 misses way high for ball 2. Mariners win tonight. They knock off the Texas Rangers in 12 innings, 7-6 the final. So the Mariners get a big bounce back win after pretty embarrassing night last night, losing 10-1. Pitch here misses low for ball 3. Bosel in relief for the Apple Sox, took over for Blake Sandvik back in the, was it the 4th inning? No, in the 5th. And looking at his numbers so far, he has not walked a batter in relief, and throws a strike there at an opportune time. Johnson takes 3-1 the count.
Speaking of extra inning games, Springfield Drifters ended up winning 3-1 over the Marion Berries tonight in the bottom of 11.
Wow.
They must have started that game early if they're already through 11.
Was that in, where was that at?
It was in Salem, yeah.
In Chemeketa Field?
Yeah.
Pitch here.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
No argument by the catcher there, though. So obviously our view from here isn't as good as
thrown too much.
Yeah.
So must have been outside for ball 4. So a runner aboard with 1 down here in the 7th that brings up Connor Ross. Ross grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd, got aboard on an error on the shortstop on a throwing error in the 4th. Had a sacrifice fly for an RBI in the 5th. Bosel always working from the stretch. And the pitch on the way, swung on a foul back, and the count 0-1 here to Connor Ross. We'll have more baseball coming up in July with the Apple Sox taking on the Kamloops North Paws. Second time we'll have Kamloops here on the broadcast on the NCWLIFE channel. That'll be on Tuesday, July 8th. And then again, Friday, July 18th, Nanaimo comes to town. We'll be here for that one as well on the NCWLIFE channel, your Apple Sox TV station. This pitch misses for a ball. 1-1 the count.
A little timeout called here. Figure out what's going on.
Pitcher, catcher, making sure they're on the same page here.
Kamloops is trying to make a run at Bellingham, 4-8.
Good.
In the top of 7.
I got time.
Yes.
And it's in Kamloops, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay. So what do you think this conversation is?
You know, it seems to me like this would be something about pitches, like calling pitches, but I would doubt that, though, because
not a runner at second base behind him. Yeah.
But I don't. The reason I only say that it would be about the pitch calls and stuff is because, well, he's going to taps on his knee, on his head, on his shoulders. So that could have been the case.
A cross up, maybe Bosel didn't see the call.
Yeah, and so oftentimes you'll see where catchers have their fingernails painted white, and so they can see them a little bit better. And this might be a spot where he just can't see the fingers when they're put down there. So the reason I wouldn't say it's about mechanics or of that sort is because they don't know each other that well, right? So it would be like,
and that was a lengthy conversation. If it's something that the catcher's seeing about mechanics, that's pretty quick. Hey, you're not coming up over the top, or you're dropping down to the side, or something like that.
Yeah. So
2-2 count to Connor Ross here with a runner at first base. 1 out for Victoria here in the top of the 7th. Pitch on the way, swung on a fly ball to right field. And over to his right is Gunnar Penskover. And he'll make the catch for the outs, much to the happiness of our crowd here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. 2 outs in the 7th inning brings up Jacob Doyle.
You know, there's a lot of secrecy going on in the game of baseball, with coaches calling in pitches, coaches giving signs. They can be done verbally. They can be done by movements of coaches. They can be done by touches of coaches. Catchers giving signs out there. So there's a lot of secrets going on throughout the game, which is kind of part of the game. And do you remember that movie, or it was a documentary about the guy from Michigan that
sign stealer?
The sign stealer, yeah.
Yep.
And so he went and he memorized all the signs of the opposing teams and was calling plays as they were calling them in. So he had this whole thing memorized of the way that the coaches called in plays and was able to steal signs. You like to do that. That's why it's always advantageous to have a runner at second base, because then they can look in and see the signs of the catcher. And if you know the sequences that they're giving the signs in, you're able to steal a sign and give an advantage to your hitter by, arms outside might be a off-speed pitch, arms straight down might be a fastball, tap the hat might be a different kind of a pitch. So it's kind of fun. It's a game within a game,
Jacob Doyle behind in the count of 1-2, and here's your runner at second base after the wild pitch. Bosel ready, and the pitch swung on a miss, and strikeout there. 93 miles an hour from Carson Bosel, and that'll retire the side. We'll add to the bottom of the 7th after the stretch here by the fans, as Wenatchee leads at 10-6. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Get a great deal on making the most of every property. The Kubota commercial landscape lineup is built to do more. From the RTVX utility vehicle to the Z700 mower to the SVL track loader. When your reputation is on the line, you need equipment that doesn't let you down. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months, or save up to $4,000.
At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family, and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today, and let's find your happy place.
Garrett Villa continues to pitch here for the Harbor Cats as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and it will be top of the order for the Apple Sox. You have Jacob Croxford, Theo Kim, and Kyle Pavlubon. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCWLIFE channel as we bring you Apple Sox baseball live from the Sandy Cooprider Sports Complex here on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. That includes the Paul Thomas Senior Stadium here. It also includes the Rotary Park softball complex across the way. It also includes the soccer field here, the Mike Hollis soccer field. So 3 complexes all in one. Pitch here swung on and hit in the air in the infield. Pop up here by Croxford. And second baseman Jake Butler will take care of that. So 1 pitch, 1 out here for the Apple Sox. And with 1 out, that brings up second baseman Theo Kim. Theo has a 2-run single to his credit tonight. He's been hit by a pitch, and he struck out twice, including a strikeout looking controversial, according to the fans here at Paul Thomas, for the final out in the 5th inning. First pitch to Kim here, he'll take for a strike, 0-1 the count. Thanks for joining us on television locally here on Localtel Channel 12. This pitch misses for a ball, evens the count of 1-1 strike. Also on Spectrum Charter Channel 19.
Yeah.
Pitch here swung on a grounder back past the mound. Shortstop will field and throw, and it's in time to get the runner. 6-3 on the putout, so 2 outs here in the 7th inning for the Apple Sox, and that'll bring up Kyle Ponyaban. Kyle is 1 for 3 tonight. Hit by a pitch, hit into a fielder's choice, popped out, and a double in the 6th, and he scored a run.
Yeah, that ball was hit hard, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That ball off the wall.
Yes. 10-6 Wenatchee on top as they bat here on the bottom of the 7th, and Ponyaban will take the first strike looking. 0-1 the count as the crowd behind home plate continues to rib Lance Creek, our home plate umpire. This pitch swung on a miss, and the count quickly 0-2 as also the Harbor Cats trying for the first time tonight to retire Wenatchee in order. Hasn't happened so far. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed, and they do it for the first time here tonight. And we'll try to make a rally in the 8th inning when we come back. Through 7 here in Wenatchee, Apple Sox lead at 10-6. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Top of the 8th inning here for the Harbor Cats. They'll send Jake Butler, Jai Berezowski, and Tanner Belkowski here to the lineup in the 8th as they trail it 10-6 to Wenatchee. Apple Sox trying to get their 19th, let's see, no, 14th win of the season. I was thinking of Bellingham there for a minute. By the way, did Bellingham end up winning that game?
Let's check that out here. Carson Bozel's having a good night.
This is his longest outing, I want to say.
What did I do there, Eric?
Go ahead and go back, arrow.
Oh, I got this one right here. Oh, there we go. There you go. Push the wrong one.
So Jake Butler tonight is 0 for, no, make that 1 for 2. He got a bunt single, beautiful bunt up the third baseline in the 5th inning, as he steps up to lead it off here in the 8th for the Harbor Cats, as Carson Bozel continues to twirl here for the Apple Sox on the mound. Right-hander from Okanagan, Washington. First pitch misses for a ball. 1-0 the count to Butler.
Looks to me like they're ahead 8-4 still in the bottom of 9th.
So last chance for Kamloops in that.
Excuse me, my fault. Oh, bottom of 8th.
Bottom of 8th, okay. Yeah. 1-0 pitch on the way here, misses low for a ball. 2-0 the count to Butler.
Ooh, the Ridgefield Raptors are ahead of the Portland Pickles 6-5 in the, what's that, bottom of 6th?
Wow, they came back in that one.
Yeah.
2-0 count to Butler here. Bozel's pitch high and inside for a ball.
Yep, you and I both did the same thing. Took a peek down into the bullpen.
3-0 the count to the leadoff man here.
This is his, is this his 4th inning?
He's relief, yeah. 3-0 pitch by Carson Bozel on the way to the plate is low for ball 4. So leadoff walk here to Butler. It's never over until that 27th out.
That
if
is
you
so
go
true.
Regulation.
That's why you got to love the game, right? Because it is 100% never over.
Malcolm Whitehall might disagree with you back in the studios. Giles Berezowski steps up, the catcher down. He's an 0 for 9. He did walk and score back in the 4th, and he'll take the first pitch for a ball. And you got to imagine that Berezowski going to be taking all the way here as Carson Bosel finds himself.
Jace Taylor's starting to get moving down there in the bullpen.
Pitch on the way is a fastball in there for a strike. Count evens at 1-1.
You know, I never have liked that.
What's that?
Obviously, he's not bunting there. So for him to show bunt, for me, maybe his thought process is he can see the ball a little bit better there. That would be the only reason why I would say that it might be okay. But otherwise, you're just giving the pitcher something to aim at, you know, an additional thing to aim at. So, yeah, I've never liked it.
Of course, Victoria saw that the Apple Sox already with Bosel on the mound had some difficulties with the communication between the catcher and pitcher. So if you square around early enough and throw that bat out there, swing and a miss here, I mean, you could be interfering with the pitcher's ability to see the catcher making his signs.
Yeah, but I think he was doing that post accepting the sign. So he had already got the sign. But you see that in Little League a lot where guys will take their bats and wave it. Like, I don't know. I just never have been a huge fan of that.
This pitch here is in there for a strike after the strikeout by Berezowski. Beltkowski now stepping up.
And you know what it did? All that did was made Carson Bosel upset.
Yeah.
And he's throwing 4 straight strikes.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
0-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss.
Make it 5.
Let's see, Mr. Bosel in relief here for the Apple Sox with 2, 3, 4,
scored
5.
another run.
5 strikeouts for Carson Bosel in relief. Pitch on the way is in there for a strike. Gone looking.
That was a very
strange call by the home plate umpire.
Unanimated strike 3.
Just kind of a little point to the side. So 2 down here in the inning, and 6 strikeouts in relief by Bosel. Hudson Shoup now stands between the Apple Sox and a safe inning. Runner for first goes. Pitch is high. The throw down to second base is not in time.
That was a good call.
Tag was a little bit high. Had the tag and the ball been arriving down at the base, maybe a little closer. But a stolen base here for Jake Butler. So the count 1-0.
I would have to think that was on the runner taking that bag, because as a coach, I couldn't see myself giving an opportunity to get the 3rd out.
Pitch here swung on a grounded to the first baseman. He'll scoop it up and take it to the bag himself with Ethan Thomas. And that'll be the inning here for Victoria. They get a runner aboard on a walk. He is stranded. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Wenatchee up 10-6 here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey man, how's your arm?
Getting better, actually, thanks.
Did they give you anything for pain after surgery? Because I think I may have some left over.
Nah, that's all right, man. Actually, me and my doctor talked about not sharing prescriptions, and that ibuprofen's a good option for me. The risk of addiction, it's not worth it.
Makes sense.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions, and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Ethan Thomas, Jake Sanko, and Cade Martinez do up the middle part of the order for the Apple Sox as they lead at 10-6 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. as Garrett Villa continues to pitch on the mound for the Victoria Harbor Cats. These two teams will play again 2 more times this weekend. Come out to the ballpark and cheer on the home team, Wenatchee and Victoria, tomorrow night at 6:35. And then Sunday afternoon at 5:35. Ethan Thomas stepping up. He's got a good night going for himself. 2 for 4 nights with a couple of runs and an RBI. Double, a single. He's also grounded out twice. Pitch to him is taken for a ball. 1-0 the count. We talked about big fellas. Ethan Thomas is a big fella.
Yes.
6'7".
Jeez.
Makes a good strike zone for the catcher behind home plate. Pitch on the way, swung on, and a fly ball to left center. Who's going to call for it? It will be the left fielder.
So we got an exit velo of 92, which is pretty good. It's a little too high.
Connor Ross with the catch out there in left field. So 1 down for the Apple Sox brings up Jake Senko. First time all night in the 7th. Victoria retired Wenatchee in order, trying to do it again here in the 8th, and then try to come up with a 4-run rally at least in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch here swung on, and a fly ball to the left side again, and it will be Ross again calling for it.
Man, that scoreboard out there sure is bright, isn't it?
It makes it a little difficult to see for us looking out that way. 2 down here for the Sox in the 8th brings up Cade Martinez.
What a beautiful scoreboard, though.
Yes,
Jeez.
Definitely so. Cade, by the way, a couple of sacrifices tonight. He got a sac fly for an RBI. Beautiful sac bunt in his last plate appearance. Got a board on an error, so he's yet to get a hit tonight. First pitch here he'll take for a fastball strike. 0-1 the count. One of the faster pitches thrown by Garrett Villa in relief. 88 miles an hour.
He's getting the most out of his frame, isn't he?
The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, and the count 0-2.
He reminds me of Tim Lincecum.
Oh, yeah.
And look at that spin rate, almost 2,700.
That's
Jeez.
Incredible.
Tim Lincecum. He was little in stature.
Yep.
And
Lincecum played for the Seattle Studs in the Pacific International.
Really?
Yes, he did.
And then he obviously went to the UW and then won 2 Cy Young Awards.
Yep.
I got to watch him pitch against Oakland.
I got to call him pitch against the Apple Sox twice.
Really?
And here's the first safe base hit of the game for Cade Martinez. So put that notch in his belt on an 0-2 pitch. He'll slice it to right field for a 2-out single. That'll bring up Gunnar Penskover.
Yeah, he was quite phenomenal in his performances.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity through the years of calling Apple Sox baseball to see some pretty amazing people play either for the Apple Sox or against the Apple Sox in that case.
Yep, Marco Gonzalez for us.
Marco, when he came to Wenatchee out of Colorado out of high school, the first time he pitched for the Apple Sox, I was called by 3 different TV and radio stations back in Denver asking for me to talk about his first appearance here in Wenatchee. Of course, he went the draft, and then boom, he's gone. And he did pitch 1 summer for the Apple Sox. Pitch here is in there for a strike.
Pitch to Gonzaga,
yep.
Right?
Yes,
also?
he did.
Was he? So he would have had to have been 2 or 3 years at Gonzaga.
2 years, I want to say.
Okay.
Yep. 0-1 to count. I think he was a draft and follow when he came to the Apple Sox. Because, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was drafted by the Colorado Rockies.
Was he?
Yes. If I'm not mistaken. Which I could be. 0-2 count here to Penskover. A new ball delivered out to the mound to Garrett Villa.
Hey, Marco Gonzalez pitched well for a couple years and then kind of disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, he had that injury and came back from injury and never really was the same. And then he and his wife had a child. And, I think maybe focus changed.
Yeah.
After he left Seattle, he had a couple of good outings. when he left, but never was really the same. Now a beautiful move by the pitcher. Now we got a rundown, and Cade Martinez avoids the tag. No, he is tagged out according to the umpire.
So that was so smart by their shortstop there to get the tag and just keep on going.
Yep.
Because if you ever go back, there you put the doubt in the umpire's mind.
So Martinez caught stealing, and we will head to the 9th inning. Apple Sox up 10-6. You're watching West Coast League Baseball on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Well, Carson Bozable trying to lock it up here for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. He has done a great job in relief for Wenatchee, and if I'm not mistaken, stands to win this game. Correct there?
Yeah,
Coach?
we took the lead when he was
when he came in. So there you go. He'll try to win it for himself here. Logan Shepard, Caden Munster, and Jack Johnson will stand between Mr. Bozal and a victory tonight for Wenatchee to make it their 14th victory of the summer, as Wenatchee came in tonight 13-8, a half game behind Bellingham. Looks like the Bells did win tonight. As Logan Shepard steps up, this is Bellingham's last game of the first half of the schedule tonight. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and boy, I'll tell you, Mr. Bozal, since he got a walk to lead off the 8th inning, has just bared down.
Oh, he has, yeah. Like I said, he got a little bit of fire in his belly when that guy squared the bunt unnecessarily.
A feign bunt, 0-1 count. Pitch on the way by Bozal is strike 2.
So Bellingham, they're ahead 9-5 in the top of 9. So Kamloops still has a chance.
Okay.
Keep your fingers crossed out there.
0-2 the count as the Apple Sox dugout erupts below us. Pitch on the way, high, very high, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes to Logan Shepard. Shepard has walked 3 times. He has struck out as well.
Yeah, yet to put a ball in play.
One of the best hitters, well, the best hitter on their team. This pitch is low for a ball. Count evens to Shepard at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I love listening to the players down here.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and he strikes out their best hitter for the 2nd straight time. 1 out in the 9th inning, and that's the 7th strikeout by Carson Bozal in relief.
You know, you see a lot of the same characteristics of these guys down here, just enjoying the heck out of it in the College World Series.
Yeah.
You know, you watch the Oregon State where they had everybody sitting up on the rail and clapping and doing their thing.
Strike here called. Munster takes 0-1 the count. Caden Munster is 1 for 3 tonight with a base hit, to fly out, to line out, to the sacrifice fly for an RBI. The 0-1 pitch on the way by Carson Bozal is strike 2 called. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the theme I'm hearing from the dugout below us is the chant that was in the Wolf of Wall Street movie.
Oh yeah.
The 0-2 pitch. Oh my. ball one.
That's a very inappropriate movie. Don't look that up, kids.
Horrible. Horrible. I do not recommend it. And it's sad for me to say that I recognize the chant.
So you've watched it more than once.
1-2 the count. Pitch on the way, swung on, and a fly ball to deep center field. Back, and on the run catch, Jacob Roxford, out number 2.
That ball was hit well.
Jack Johnson, last man standing for Victoria. In a back-and-forth contest that saw Wenatchee score 5 runs in the second, saw Victoria come back and take a lead with a run in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. Wenatchee came right back to take the lead back with 2 runs in the bottom of the fifth. This first pitch here is taken for a ball. 1-0 the count to Jack Johnson. Wenatchee added some breathing room in the sixth with 3 more runs. They lead at 10-6. Trying to hang with Bellingham in the first half standings, and that's a strike, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Carson is feeling the love of his teammates right here, and his velocity is starting to pick up a little bit.
Carson
92,
Bozell.
93.
Ready for the 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Can Carson Bozell finish it up with a K here tonight and send the Sox fans home happy campers on this Friday in June? 1-2 the count to Jack Johnson. Bozell ready. The pitch on the way, swung on and fouled away, and the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
Another 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Said he's feeling the love of his teammates right now, isn't he?
Got a little bit of extra juice here.
Now he should come in with a changeup or slider down low.
Johnson is geared up for it. Bozell, heck with it, throw another fastball. Pitch on the way, no, you were right. Curveball misses outside for ball 2. 83 on that one, from 92 down to 83. 2-2 count.
Now we'll see what a 94-mile-an-hour fastball looks like here.
It's high with the fastball.
91. Bummer.
And the count runs full to Johnson at 3-2. Bozell trying to wrap it up for himself tonight and for the Apple Sox faithful. The full count pitch to Jack Johnson on the way. Strike 3 called. Gone looking is Jack Johnson. And the Apple Sox rush the field to congratulate Carson Bozell. The Okanagan product gets it done here tonight for the Wenatchee Apple Sox in a 10-6 victory. We'll come back after a 2-minute break and wrap it up here from Paul Thomas. Coming up next on the NCWLIFE channel.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Hey man, how's your arm?
Getting better, actually, thanks.
Did they give you anything for pain after surgery? Because I think I may have some left over.
Nah, that's all right, man. Actually, me and my doctor talked about not sharing prescriptions, and that ibuprofen's a good option for me. The risk of addiction, it's not worth it.
Makes sense.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say you get more from less.
Welcome back once again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium as the Apple Sox get the victory, first of the 3-game series against Victoria tonight, 10-6. Carson Bozel is a reliever who gets the win tonight as he is stellar on the mound, gets 8 strikeouts here for the Wenatchee Apple Sox as they get their 14th win of the summer. Meanwhile, offensively, strangely enough, they get the 10 runs on 8 hits, and only one player had more than one hit, and that was Ethan Thomas, who had a double and a single. He had an RBI, and he scored 2 runs for the Apple Sox here tonight. Of course, a big home run by Jake Sanko offensively to lead off a 5-run second inning. The Sox would have to come back after that to get the win, but Brandon Schmitten, big win here at home to start the series and come off of that 2 games to 1 series against Bellingham and try to get yourself that first half title for the North Division.
Yeah, and you could tell that it meant something to these guys too. You could see that as the game got a little bit tight, they started getting a little bit more into it. It wasn't like roll over and die. It was like you said, it means something to these guys. So super fun to watch a baseball game like that. Go back and forth and then have us come out on top. We really took advantage of the walks and the free bases tonight. We had 10 free bases today.
Yeah,
that were
3
given
hit
to us.
batsmen.
Yeah, 3 hit batsmen, 7 walks. So we really took advantage of that. So
meanwhile, if you're Mitch Darlington, there are some learning lessons as well. We had a couple of base running errors tonight, mental errors, physical errors, that type of thing. So there's a lot to be, that can learn from this, and you go on to tomorrow night and try to get a series win. And then if you do that, then you get a chance for the sweep on Sunday.
That's right. Yeah, and as long as we continue to win, we will win the first half, right?
Yeah, right. Because Bellingham, even with a win tonight, the Bells will have finished their first half. Wenatchee still with 5 more games before they finish up their first half, so they can definitely overtake Bellingham here.
Yeah.
By the way, happy anniversary to Mitch and his wife.
Yeah.
It's their anniversary today. Happy anniversary to you and your wife. How many years?
Sunday, 23 years.
Congratulations, my
Thank
friend.
you.
We will see you again in July. The next time we'll gather together around the TV will be July 8th with Kamloops in town. Wanted to thank our studio producer, Malcolm Whitehall, tonight. Our line producer on site is Dan Kuntz. On cameras, Juan Sanchez, Callie Benson, Eli Gintner, and Jesse Ventura, and Tim Bernowski, our production assistant. For Brandon Schmitten, I'm Eric Grandstrom. Thanks for joining us for Apple Sox Baseball. Sox win. 10-6 the final. Have a good night, everybody. It's by Busich.
Thanks for watching Wenatchee Apple Sox Baseball right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Tonight's broadcast was sponsored by our platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Caldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, the Highlander Golf Course and Grill, the Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Shava, Together for Youth, Valley Tractor, and Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. This has been a special presentation of NCWLIFE Channel Sports. We now return you to normal programming already in progress.
So the Apple Sox will advance